birds with you and some other stuff as well. That's coming up today. Greg Mitchell is going to join the show, Amy, and I'm looking forward to this interview because I did not know about this, but about 5 months after the bombing in Hiroshima, however you want to pronounce it. So it is the 80th anniversary today. It was August 6th, 1945. So it's the 80th anniversary. And about 5 months after it happened, they played a football game at Ground Zero, which is, I had no idea that happened. And Greg Mitchell is the author of a new book called The Atomic Bowl. And he's going to be with us. And I can't wait to talk to him. That's at 10 o'clock.
Yeah, really interesting. I did not know that happened. And as we mentioned, 80 years ago from Hiroshima. And Nagasaki was a couple of days later. So this whole week is 80 years since they dropped the atomic bombs. In one moment, changed the trajectory of world history and warfare and geopolitical relationships. I mean, really astounding. And I think when we look back at history, especially at things like the atomic bomb, and people pass judgments and say, oh, we should have done this, or, I get it. It's horrible and it's overwhelming. But it's so important to remember that when we look back at history, when we go back to that moment, they didn't know that the good guys were going to win World War II. They were still asking themselves, are the Allies going to win this war? Is Nazi Germany going to win? Is Japan going to win? They were still asking themselves, will this bomb work? Do we know what this bomb is going to do? Will it light the entire Western Hemisphere on fire? They didn't know.
Which they scientifically literally did not know. They thought it might happen.
They did not know. And that's what I mean is, I think when we look back at history, we do a couple things. We project our sensibilities onto a different time. But we also, it's easy to approach it with this idea that things were more preordained than they actually were. Because we can look back and go, well, we won the war.
Well, of course that was going to happen.
Yeah, well, of course that was going to happen. It's hard not to project this idea of already knowing the ending into that decision-making process.
I think what's amazing, like just absolutely amazing, is that, and I know it's been 80 years later, but the fact that we are such good friends with Japan, like they're one of our best allies.
The Marshall Plan.
We did that to them. We had this war and we dropped these 2 bombs, which were incredible, and they love us. It's just, it's a fascinating thing. And I know a lot of time, but they've been a good ally of ours for years. For a long time. So it wasn't that long after the war happened that we became pretty good friends.
And so much of that, again, I mean, really is to the Marshall Plan and the lessons that we learned after World War I. What happens if you are, I hate to use the phrase overly punitive, but I mean, the Allies really stuck it to the Germans after World War I, right?
And they're a good ally of ours.
Forced that country, right, into poverty. The people couldn't dig themselves out of it, which made the society a little bit more ripe for someone, a dictator like Hitler, saying, you're the victims, we're going to take over. And like I said, I mean, that was all evil. But the United States and the Allied forces realized, okay, even if it's country A's fault for starting this war, we can't put them in a position after the war that they will never, ever, ever dig out of it, because it will make them fundamentally unstable.
Right.
So, the Marshall Plan, a huge part of that. But you're right, because I mean, one of the reasons why, too, the bombs were used in Japan, the Japanese armies didn't surrender. They surrendering was not part of their culture and what they did. So even after the first bomb, right, they didn't surrender, had to drop the second. And as I was reading up on this with the recognition of 80 years since the bombs were dropped, there were a lot of people within that Imperial Army that still didn't want to surrender after the second bomb. And it was only the leader who was able to say, we really need to stop. This is going to be devastating, because a lot of those in the military wanted to keep going.
Yeah, and there are arguments on the other side that maybe we didn't need to do that they would have reached a point anyway very quickly that they just weren't going to be able to sustain war, the Japanese. But I think it's just a really fascinating time in history. And it's easy to say that it's fascinating because we're looking at it so far removed. At the time, it was everything, It was, for the people who lived there, clearly devastating. There's I'm thinking of this now, but there is the U2 album, and it's called The Unforgettable Fire. And they called it that because they went to a museum exhibit and they saw all these pieces about that bombing, and the people in Japan, that's what they called it. They called it The Unforgettable Fire because it was such it was horrific for people there, right? But we're so far removed from it. It's almost like it wasn't real because it was 80 years ago.
That's not that long.
It's not that long ago.
A lot
but
of people
for us,
were alive.
It was 40 years before we were born.
Robert points out, because I was talking about all the questions we had during World War II, and I was conflating the war on the European front. Yes, no, Hitler was already dead, right? As Robert pointed out, when we dropped the bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. My point was that there were still so many questions throughout that entire war. Yes, now Hitler was dead, but with Japan, like I said, they wouldn't surrender. And they were saying that not only would there be a lot of American lives lost, but there would still be a lot of Japanese lives lost. I highly recommend, oh my gosh, not Mike Wallace, Chris Wallace's book, Countdown 1945. And it literally, as the book implies, Countdown 1945, it chronicles the days leading up to dropping the atomic bomb and what Harry Truman had to learn after he became president when FDR died, and how much Roosevelt told him nothing about the atomic bomb. He walked into the White House blind to the atomic bomb and had to learn about it, and then was making that decision of how long will this war last? And they truly believed that millions of lives would be lost as opposed to those that were lost when they dropped the bombs.
Amy Marks Kors, Chris Ranji today. And again, that conversation with Greg Mitchell, the writer and director of The Atomic Bowl. There's a film that goes along with it. It's really, really interesting, and cannot wait to talk to him. That's at 10 o'clock today. John Rooney on the Cardinals. We have he's with us at 10:30. Angela Johnson Reyes, comedian who's been on with us before. She will join us at 11 o'clock. And we're doing our midweek, midday, midlife segment today.
Yep.
That is happening at 11:30. We're going to talk about having a healthy diet when you are at this point of your life in your 30s and 40s, and you've got kids, a job. You're balancing all of these things. We'll talk to Dr. Julie Gatza, who's a nutrition expert. She'll be with us at 11:30. So a lot happening today on the show until 12 o'clock. It's Chris and Amy. And we know a little bit more about those car fires that happened in Clayton. We will discuss those. And St. Louis Public Schools getting a poor rating because of, just some mismanagement, it seems like. Also really curious what's going on with the Francis Howell district as well. So we're going to talk about all of those things when we come back. 314-436-7900 on KMOX.
If something happens to you, what happens to your family? Will they struggle financially? Will they be able to afford the home you built together? With Ethos, you can get life insurance coverage in minutes. Get up to $2 million in coverage for as little as $2 a day. All online with no medical exam. Just answer a few health questions. Get your free quote at ethos.com/life. That's ethos.com/life. Rates may vary. Billed monthly. Sample rate 10-year term life policy for a 35-year-old healthy non-smoking male.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit information kit. 800-311-9595. That's 800-311-9595.
You know your customers. Ralph likes his coffee black on Fridays, but Mondays he takes a little cream. Jennifer comes in every 3 years when her lease is up to get the newer and better model. And for some reason, pepperoni pizza sells like crazy on Friday nights. Who knew? At Odyssey, we have the expertise to get your media plan done right. With ads like you're hearing right now, to targeted social media campaigns, search engine optimization, and location-based advertising. Advertise with Odyssey and help us grow your business. Visit ads.odyssey.com.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. We're dedicated to serving people 50 and up like me. Our needs are different. Big Wireless wants us in an unlimited plan, but if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used. At Consumer Cellular, we're focused on affordable, reliable plans, including data that suits your needs, not ours. Our plans start at just $20, and you'll get the best customer service in the business.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/facts or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Summer is here, and it's time to plan your style staycation with Bob's Discount Furniture, where you can find everyday low prices on the hottest styles. The comfiest Consumer Reports recommended mattresses, fast, friendly delivery, and flexible financing to fit your budget. Go to mybobs.com for details. So stock up and score everyday low prices, delivered on time all summer long at your nearest store or at mybobs.com.
Oh, my Bob! Bob's Discount Furniture.
You've got a ton of equity in your home. You're sitting on a gold mine. You could do so much with all that cash, like travel, invest it, or pay off debt, but you can't touch it unless you sell your home. But you really don't want to move. And besides, homes are sitting on the market for a long time these days. You're trapped, right? Well, not with TrueHold. With TrueHold, you can cash out your equity in as little as 30 days. And listen, you don't have to move. You can stay in the home you love as a renter. So that's TrueHold's Sell and Stay program. You cash out your entire home's value and stay put. TrueHold even covers property taxes, property insurance, and essential repairs. So imagine using that equity to travel, invest, or pay off debt and stay in your home. It's brilliant, especially in this slow market. You get an all-cash offer now by calling 1-855-300-9993. You can also visit TrueHold.com, the smarter, faster way to cash out on your home's value without moving. That's TrueHold.com.
Hey guys, Glover here with my friend Mark Cantor at Cantor Injury Law. So as you know, I'm a lawyer, so I take this very seriously. Mark is a great attorney. He has a great team. He is from St. Louis. He is local. Call 314-628-9999 or visit CantorInjuryLaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be solely based on advertisements.
Your biggest choice in home restoration is, who do you trust with your home, your most valued asset? Well, if you can match Banner Construction's experience and dedication to excellence. Banner is an elite preferred James Hardie contractor and Pella window specialist. Restoration is a one-time opportunity to have Banner's design team show you architectural options to make your home the neighborhood showcase. Call for a free consultation today. 314-569-1050. Now hiring qualified carpenters. BannerConstruction.com.
It's the Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM KMOX. Sponsored by the St. Louis Aquarium. Explore the St. Louis Aquarium at Union Station.
Chris Ranji, Amy Mark Scores with you on a Wednesday. As Ranj mentioned earlier, we knew that these fires that were set very early Tuesday morning, the fires that were set in Clayton, 3 cars on fire, were suspicious, and the police and the arson squads investigated. And now the FBI is there because it is being classified now as an anti-Semitic hate crime. There was anti-Semitic graffiti, anti-Israel graffiti written on the street as well. One of the phrases written on the street was "death to the IDF," the IDF being the Israeli Defense Forces. And police and the FBI do believe that this suspect, whom they are still searching for, not only set off the fires and create this attack and spread these hateful messages, but was specifically trying to intimidate a member of the Jewish community here in St. Louis and Clayton. And it's, Ron, I mean, we're seeing continue. We've been talking about this for several years now, but especially now, the rise in anti-Semitic attacks across the country. And it is horrific that we saw it here in the Clayton neighborhood.
Yeah, it's not good. And they'll find whoever did it, I would imagine, and that person will be punished. I understand fully, and who knows what their entire motivation is. There are a lot of people not happy with the way Israel has conducted this operation over the last couple of years now. And I think those are valid criticisms, but this doesn't make any sense. Doing this, setting cars on fire, targeting a specific person whose name was written, I believe, on a car or on the street. And it seems like they knew who this person was. I don't know how that gets your point across. So this is not the way to do it. I mean, if you want to speak out against what's happening over there, more than within your rights to do so, but this doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense to set people's vehicles on fire and target one individual that has nothing to do with any of that.
Yeah, I mean, with the pro-Palestinian protests that we've seen across the country, and a lot of them that we had seen, especially in streets that was disruptive or vandalism or violent, whether it be in city streets or college campuses. Yes, as you said, you can definitely care and be upset about the Palestinians in Gaza. And you can very much criticize the Netanyahu government. You can. There are people in Israel criticizing the Netanyahu government. The thing is, I find it a little bizarre, all the focus here on Netanyahu, when I know we're talking about the people who are hungry in Gaza, but we know Israel brought millions of pounds of food and humanitarian aid, that it's a distribution problem now, whether it's the UN or other humanitarian organizations are having a hard time distributing it. We know Hamas was killing people. There's been all these stories about, well, Israel's killing people trying to get aid, but we're not seeing videos of that. We've seen videos of Hamas killing people trying to get aid. We know that when Biden tried to put that humanitarian port in Gaza, Hamas blew that up. I'm frustrated, especially with the New York Times, with the picture of that very ill, emaciated child saying Gazans are starving. And what they didn't say is, oh, they had to retract that story because that child had a pre-existing condition, and they cropped out the very well-fed brother standing right behind him, and they cropped out the very well-fed mother.
I hear you. It doesn't negate what Israel has been doing here.
But
there's plenty of blame to go around on both sides here.
I just think I would not say that. There's zero moral equivalence between Israel and Hamas. And again, the famine, they're using the word famine and genocide, where even in the UN, they said, no, this is not a genocide, because Israel not only has brought humanitarian aid, but they've dropped pamphlets, and Hamas tells people don't leave. I mean, Hamas wants to get dead kids. That's why they put missile launchers in hospitals and in nurseries, and they tell the people not to move. Why does Egypt have 7 layers of walls to not let the people at least cross across the Egyptian border for a little bit?
That doesn't take ownership away from Israel here.
Listen, I get it, but Ron, the worst famine going on right now is like in Sudan and Somalia. 30 million people are starving, like actual adults. You're not
also
seeing
terrible.
Starving. It's also terrible. The people who say they care about the Palestinians didn't say anything when Assad killed thousands of Palestinians. And the UN said right now the most devastating, this is their quote, the most devastating humanitarian and displacement crisis in the world is the Africans being systematically hunted out and murdered by Arab Muslims in Sudan. And I guess my point is, Ron, why is there so much focus here on Netanyahu and saying, well, wait a minute, certain things aren't adding up? It's too late now when you say Israel has starved this child on the front page of the New York Times, and then they retract it the next day.
But that's not the only case. We know that, right? Like, that's not the only
I'm not
instance.
saying there's not hunger, but I am saying I do like, they're not showing the starving adults like you're seeing in Sudan. And so far, why did Time Magazine have to retract their picture?
So this
was the front page that they said was staged. I'm just saying.
Yeah, this is my question. It's like, just because these things are happening in other parts of the world does not mean that we should not focus on this too. And one of the biggest reasons that I think Americans are so focused on it, or some Americans, I don't think all are, but some Americans are focused, is because Israel is an ally and we give them so much aid and military assistance that people feel like we have some ownership here too. I think that's why people in this country are invested in that. And I look, it sure does seem that there are many, many countries around the world that are also not happy with the way Israel has conducted operations over the last couple of years. It's not just us. And I have a hard time believing that we are all wrong and they are right, that country is 100% right and everybody else is wrong.
But I didn't say they were 100% right. I said you can absolutely focus on Netanyahu, because a lot of leaders in the Israeli military have said that the extent to which Netanyahu has taken this, has continued as well. And I want to point out, Hamas is not releasing the hostages, where if you release the hostages, then you're done, and they won't do it because they want the war to continue. And that's what some of the military leaders are saying, is you're playing into Hamas's hands by continuing this. Like I said, you can absolutely criticize the Netanyahu government. But Hamas started this war. They're the ones that will not release the hostages. And this focus on Israel, I think, again, when I follow the news and also, like, why is the New York Times? I've stood up for the New York Times. They posted a picture. It was not only the front page of their printed New York Times, but on their Twitter, which reaches 55 million people. When they retracted it the next day, they only put it on their New York Times comms account, which has 90,000 people, which means the damage is done. People see that kid and they think this is what Israel is doing. I think there are a lot of bad actors that are pretending to care about the Palestinian movement, Palestinian people, when really they just hate Jewish people.
Well, that does exist, but there are a lot of people who do actually just care about Palestinians and what's happening there. It's not one or the other. I mean, there are both. Anti-Semitism is horrific, whatever form it's in. If it's in the form of somebody who is supporting Palestine or the people of Gaza, or if it's a right-winger white supremacist, whatever form anti-Semitism exists is unacceptable. And that's why whatever happened in Clayton this week we can't accept that. You can protest what's happening around the world. You can protest what's happening in Gaza, and you're not wrong to have some real serious concerns with the way Israel has conducted business, but targeting a citizen of Clayton is not going to get it's not going to get your point across, and nobody is going to be on your side as a result of what you've done. Unless death to the IDF. That's the point. That's what I mean. I think, again, you can criticize the Netanyahu government for sure, but there are people who really do want the end of Israel, who want the death to the IDF. France was taking Gazan refugees and had to pause their program because some of the Gazan refugees that they brought in were just saying death to the Jews and death to Israel and spreading this on college campuses. And they had to pause it because it was so hateful. And again, criticize the Netanyahu government. There are those in Israel doing it as well. But it's horrific to see this anti-Semitism, which we've seen across the country so close in our own homes. That's Amy Marks-Kors. I'm Chris Ranji. We are with you till 12 o'clock today. A lot coming up on the show, and we are glad you're part of our day. We're glad to be part of yours on 104.1 FM KMOX.
This isn't your typical lunchtime baseball chatter. This is the Gas House Gang.
I'll say this. Here's my perspective.
Tom Ackerman, Chris Ranji, Mike Claiborne, and Bernie Miklasz bring smart, informed Cards talk. And every Tuesday,
we welcome in the manager of the Cardinals, Oliver Marmol.
You want real Cardinals conversation? You're in the right place. The Gas House Gang, weekdays at noon on 104.1 FM KMOX, the voice of baseball.
Hey guys, Glover here with my friends Mark and Neil Gelman from the Gelman team of eXp Realty. Selling your home, every situation is unique. Find the best options that are right for you from the real estate team who offer more options. 314-336-1991. Go to thegelmanteam.com.
Currently, it is 79 degrees, but it feels like 92. Mostly sunny. Start of an extended heat wave, I regret to inform you. So the high today of 92, and it'll keep getting warmer over the next few days. Tonight, a low of 70.
This report is sponsored by McKelvey Homes.
Hi, I'm Jim Brennan at McKelvey Homes. Have you always wished for a brand new home in an established neighborhood? Select one of our move-in ready custom homes throughout St. Louis, or we will build on your lot. Visit McKelveyhomes.com and move up to McKelvey.
When my business was taking off, our old phone system just wasn't cutting it. We needed fewer missed calls, more flexibility, and better visibility into customer conversations. That's when I found OpenPhone.
OpenPhone is the all-in-one system for small businesses and growing teams. Manage multiple numbers from one device, work seamlessly as a team with shared numbers, and stay organized with AI-powered call transcripts, summaries, and next steps, so nothing gets missed and your team responds faster. OpenPhone integrates with tools you already use, like Slack, HubSpot, and Zapier, so everything's connected and efficient.
Having tried just about every relevant small business phone system, OpenPhone is truly in a league of its own. It's now essential to how we run our business, and I couldn't be happier with the value it brings.
See why over 60,000 businesses trust OpenPhone. Try OpenPhone for free at openphone.com/try and get 20% off your first 6 months. That's openphone.com/try. openphone.com/TRY.
Refresh, restore, and protect your employees and customers. Call Zero Res to clean your business the right way so your floors and surfaces stay cleaner longer without the harmful chemicals the other guys use. Call 314-474-2020 or book online at ZeroResSTL.com.
Why do the national tax resolution firms need the tiny fine print at the bottom of all their TV ads? Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. You don't hear fast talking disclaimers in our ads because the claims we make are 100% transparent. The Lance Story Law Firm primarily focuses on one thing, IRS problems, and we're regulated by the Bar Association, and we have a AAA rating with the Better Business Bureau. IRS issues are serious legal issues. The Lance Story Law Firm has helped thousands of clients navigate the best resolution plans, and we tell you up front exactly how much it'll cost. Tax resolution law is all we do. So before you send money to some out-of-town, high-pressure salesperson, give us a call at the Lance Story Law Firm, located right here in St. Louis. Call today to schedule your free consultation with me, 314-260-6120, or visit LanceDruryLaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Let's go! You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at VaxAssist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-275-1242. That's 800-275-1242.
Cards manager Ollie Marble joins the Gas House Gang every Tuesday at noon. Sponsored by Siteman Cancer Center on the voice of the Cardinals. 104.1 FM, KMOX.
7 hours of commercial-free football start now.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Let's go.
It's the
Bro.
best. It's the best.
It's the worst.
You hate it. You hate Red Zone.
Because I love football. Do you want me to give my reasons now or wait?
Yeah, go ahead and crap all over football.
Okay. No, I love football. Here's the thing. One, I love the flow of the game.
Mhm.
I love a Sunday afternoon. You're eating chips and dip. You're sitting there in front of a fire because, it's the fall. It's just listening to the flow of the football game. I love it. Two, I don't like when broadcasters talk over other broadcasters. So you can hear the broadcasts of all the games, and then you can hear the Red Zone guys talking over the broadcasts, which are still pretty loud. So it's very confusing. I'm like, wait, how many guys are talking right now? And three, every time I sit down and watch a Red Zone, it's with fantasy football people.
Yeah.
What did this guy do? Do you know what this guy did?
Oh, he's on my fantasy
Oh,
team.
he's on my fantasy.
This is the
I
only.
need 2 more points. I need 2 more points, bro.
This is the only part that I will agree with. I hate watching any football game with anybody who's got a fantasy team. I have not done a fantasy team in 6 years. And before that, I hadn't done one in a decade. I just don't like it. I love football. I hate fantasy football. I shouldn't say I hate it. I can't get into it. I'd rather do a little wagering here on a football game than I would play fantasy football. And it is because of that. People who are like, oh, he's on my team. I don't care who's on your fantasy team.
Well, and then it's always like,
I don't care that this guy only got 80 yards when you needed 90. I don't care.
I hope the Bengals lose. I hate the Bengals, but man, I need Joe Burrow to run.
Yeah,
I need Joe Burrow to run.
Yeah.
I do. I can't stand the Ravens, but I need Lamar Jackson to do this.
Yeah, so I totally agree with you on that. Everything else, you could not be more wrong, because 7 hours of commercial-free football is one of the best things. So what I like to do...
Why don't you talk about football and then I'll talk over you?
That's not what happens. So for people who don't know, NFL Red Zone is the NFL network, and there used to be 2 red zones, which is wild. There was the NFL product, and then the NFL Network product, and now there's only one. They've gotten rid of poor Andrew Siciliano, who was on the other one, the less good one. They have kept Scott Hansen. They have kept Scott Hansen around, and that is the only red zone that matters. And what it is you tune in at noon on Sunday, and they just go from, it's a whip around. They go from game to game, and if a team's about to score, they will cut to that game, then they will show you highlights. They'll show you the play-by-play live as it happens. And then if another play happens at a different game, they will go there. So it is a way to consume a bunch of football and really only the exciting parts. So that's what I love about it. I like to consume football by watching my stupid Bears not score any touchdowns and then watch Red Zone and watch all these other teams score touchdowns. And I feel like, oh, that's what it's like. So that's how I do it. Now, the big news is that this used to be a thing on NFL Network, or if you had bought the Sunday ticket package, which is outrageously expensive to buy Sunday ticket. It's well over $400 to get it, unless you're a student and you get that discount. Sunday ticket, way too damn expensive. It was part of that package if you got the add-on, right? Like, so Red Zone didn't come with it. You had to pay extra to get Red Zone. Well, ESPN and NFL Media have struck a deal where Red Zone is now going to be part of ESPN's free programming, which don't have any confirmation on this, but the indications are that it is not going to be commercial free any longer. So I don't know how they're going to do that.
But it's at least 7 hours of commercial free football.
Yes, it is. It should be, but we don't know if that's going to continue. Hopefully it will. Hopefully they will find a way to still get their advertising dollars through the 7 hours of commercial-free football so that they can give us that. But I have a feeling that that's not going to happen and we're going to lose it. So I don't know how they're going to do it.
And as we
and now, Amy,
Yeah.
Scott Hansen can take pee breaks.
I know. It's the potty rule.
So back probably 2018 or 19, for the first time in the history of Red Zone, Scott Hansen had to go to the bathroom in the middle of it. Now, think about going 7 hours without having a bathroom break.
Listen, I can barely make it to the top of the hour on this show.
I know. I'm going a few times per show, and we're only on for 3 hours. Imagine doing 7 hours and not getting to take a bathroom break. Well, he finally had to. It was like 2018 or 19, and he tweeted, for the first time in the history of this show, I had to take a bathroom break. And it became huge news because he's known for anchoring that desk and not leaving for 7 hours. And it was a milestone. So now he's going to get to take all the pee breaks he wants.
Did you, we mentioned this earlier, but we didn't revisit yet that the NFL is now getting a 10% equity in ESPN, but the WWE will be, I believe, exclusively on ESPN streaming.
Wild.
The WWE.
Which is
wrestling.
Not real.
Oh my gosh. Take it back.
Just not real.
Okay. What about this with Red Zone?
Well, let me say this. A friend of mine went to I don't think it was WrestleMania. It was one of those
knockoff WrestleManias.
No, it was a different event. WrestleMania is like their Super Bowl every year.
Okay.
But it was one of the other ones. I don't know, Slam or some crap. I don't know whatever. He went to Indianapolis to watch it, and he loves wrestling, and he's an adult man. And I asked him how it was, and he said, "I got to tell you, that building smelled awful because just people." He said. He said the people who were there just stunk.
Oh,
so
that's so mean.
What he's saying is all you wrestling fans smell bad.
I feel like yesterday you were mean to the Sicilians. And
no, I wasn't.
The Greeks. Who was it?
Chechens.
Yes, and then
the Russians. We were talking about mafia.
Yeah,
those are famous.
And now you're being rude to wrestling fans.
I didn't say it. I'm reporting what I was told.
This guy's got the widest brush strokes we've ever seen.
I do. I was told that the crowd at the WrestleMania in Indianapolis smelled bad.
Yeah.
So if you're a wrestling fan and you've gone to these events, let us know if it stinks.
314-436-7900. Ron, here's what I was thinking about Red Zone. It's kind of like, I know, Matt, you like music. You're a big music guy. Ranj, you like some music.
I got a Radiohead shirt on today.
Yeah. What if the Red Zone is like if you listen to a radio station that only played the chorus, the final build-up chorus of every song.
Yeah.
You never heard the verses. You never heard the bridge. You just heard everything was just the chorus. After a while, it blends into noise. It's not exciting anymore. You can't have the mountaintop experience without the valley, bro.
I disagree.
That's a great comparison.
Isn't it just like that?
I like the verses too, and the pre-choruses, and a bridge every once in a while.
Yes. You like the build-up.
Yeah.
That's what makes certain songs like Warning Sign from Coldplay is so good. It's like the build-up. And you're like, oh my gosh, this is such a great song. But if you listen to a radio station that's chorus only, it's just a bunch of noise. It takes some of the oomph out of it.
Well, if you're watching Bears games, it's just all build-up. And the chorus never happens.
The really slow
so that's
part
why
before they even start singing the verse.
This is why I have to go to Red Zone so that I can see what it looks like to score. So leave me alone.
What if only Bears fans got Red Zone? That's understandable.
It should be free for us.
You know what? That's actually an insanely brilliant gimmick, is that the Red Zone should have its free subscription for the markets with the worst team.
Well, okay, I'm on board with that. I can handle it.
People would be sandbagging, hoping their team loses just so they get Red Zone for free. It's not cheap.
Red Zone?
Yeah.
No, Red Zone.
It's expensive.
So now the Sunday ticket is on YouTube TV.
But you're still going to pay the same price, even if you have Disney Plus, ESPN Plus, whatever. You still have to pay the same price.
So that's the other
Red Zone, correct?
That's the other end of this, is that it is all still hugely expensive. It's just not. None of
this is cheap. You know what you can do with me?
Streaming services.
You can watch a regular football game for free.
Yeah, but you don't get to pick the game you're watching unless you get Sunday ticket.
Back in my day, we only had 3 channels. You didn't get to pick.
You know what? Could you just shut up, please? That guy's 23 years old talking about back in his day.
I mean, I don't get no respect from anyone.
This guy.
You get to pick from 2 games. There's always CBS football and Fox football.
I know, but they always pick the dumbest games.
Like not the Bears?
You'd rather watch Bears and Jaguars.
Yes, I would.
Great game.
Yeah, it's going to be great this year. Because Caleb is going to he's going to get MVP votes. Caleb Williams.
From who? Football fans?
From the people who vote. From the people who vote. Okay. All right. Do you want to know how much it costs to have Red Zone or Sunday ticket and Red Zone? All right. NFL Sunday ticket on YouTube TV, Amy, $432 for the season.
No.
If you
Wait,
want,
that's what every regular person is paying?
Yep. If you want Red Zone with it, it's $474. It's almost $500.
But you can't buy just Red Zone.
I think you can, or you used to be able to. I guess maybe it doesn't matter anymore if you have the ESPN Plus, because that's where it's going. But
because I'm trying to think, I thought it was just Red Zone, but maybe we just never watched NFL Sunday Ticket. Maybe we just watched Red Zone.
It's just, look, I know that we don't have a football team in St. Louis, except for the Battlehawks, but this is still a very popular NFL market. It does a lot of Chiefs fans here and Packers fans here for some reason, and I think you have some Cowboys fans, but St. Louis does really well with NFL viewership. It's one of the better markets in the country, somehow, still, even with no football team here. And anybody who does follow the sport or wants Sunday Ticket, they see that price, and it's been going up and up and up over the years. $430 is nuts. That's nuts for a season. Because for a lot of people, they just want to watch one team. They don't want to watch every team. You can't watch every game. It's not possible.
At least it exists.
It does.
You know why? Guess what doesn't exist anymore? NHL Center Ice.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So how am I supposed to watch my hockey games?
Well,
how can Hockey Amy come back if there's no hockey to come back to?
Well, it just wasn't popular enough. How many people subscribe to Center Ice?
Well,
6?
2. Mike, who used to work here, and me.
Mike Anderson?
Yes.
You are honestly the only 2 people I am aware of who bought Center Ice.
Yeah, well, it doesn't exist anymore. So stop your crabbing about paying $475 for NFL Red Zone.
But that's nuts, right? $475?
Yeah, it's insane. That's really expensive.
MLB TV is like, for the full season, I think it's about $150. And that's 160 games if you want to watch your team play.
Well, why don't you text in with other things that you can do for $475? Can you join a tennis club?
Maybe. That's a great question. Let's find out. Let us know what you'd rather do with your $400. 314-436-7900. Did you see this? Is next on KMOX.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
If you have been in a car accident in the past and have settled your case, I may have some good news. Some unethical lawyers have people known as runners who come directly to your hospital room or home and solicit your case. It's a disbarable offense. Anyone that would hire these scumbags needs to have their heads examined. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Now for the good news. If this happened to you, we will sue these lowlifes and fight to get all your fees back. And then look and see if these bottom feeders also malpracticed your case and sue them for that too. You have nothing to lose and everything to gain. Visit forthepeople.com for a free consultation or call Pound Law on your cell, pound 529. If someone does this to you, call the Bar Association and report them. Let's fight these bums. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com. Injured? Dial Pound Law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
The KMOX City SC Soccer Showcase, presented by Michelob Ultra. It's the Hot Shot Sports Bar and Grill on Lindbergh, Thursday, August 7th. A limited number of fans can get an autograph or a picture with City SC defensive midfielder Jake Gerwood-Reich. Register to win great prizes, enjoy great food and a cold drink. Hot Shots on Lindbergh, the place to be, Thursday, August 7th from 6 till 8 p.m. for the City SC Soccer Showcase. Presented by Michelob Ultra. For more info, KMOX.com/events.
When my business was taking off, our old phone system just wasn't cutting it. We needed fewer missed calls, more flexibility, and better visibility into customer conversations. That's when I found OpenPhone.
OpenPhone is the all-in-one system for small businesses and growing teams. Manage multiple numbers from one device, work seamlessly as a team with shared numbers, and stay organized with AI-powered call transcripts, summaries, and next steps, so nothing gets missed and your team responds faster. OpenPhone integrates with tools you already use, like Slack, HubSpot, and Zapier, so everything's connected and efficient.
Having tried just about every relevant small business phone system, OpenPhone is truly in a league of its own. It's now essential to how we run our business, and I couldn't be happier with the value it brings.
See why over 60,000 businesses trust OpenPhone. Try OpenPhone for free at openphone.com/try and get 20% off your first 6 months. That's openphone.com/try. openphone.com/TRY.
Like I said before, tariffs had absolutely zero effect on our equipment pricing. No manufacturer raised their prices. What has affected the pricing is the previous 4 years of these ridiculous mandates. I mean, I say ridiculous, it's shameful. But that being said, if you're told that you need a new system, or your air conditioner is bad, or you're looking to replace your system, if you want a common sense approach which works for you, your family, and your budget. When I say your budget, it never is what you want it to be on this equipment, but common sense approach, 15-20 minutes of your time, and explain to you your options. No Kool-Aid being handed out. I'm Bart Inman. That's Bart with a B, Inman with an I. The easiest way to get a hold of me with the easiest number, Missouri and Illinois, there's only one, 314-293-2600. Remember, 0% financing is available for most up to 60 months. Fantastic deal. God bless.
When my business was taking off, our old phone system just wasn't cutting it. We needed fewer missed calls, more flexibility, and better visibility into customer conversations. That's when I found OpenPhone.
OpenPhone is the all-in-one system for small businesses and growing teams. Manage multiple numbers from one device, work seamlessly as a team with shared numbers, and stay organized with AI-powered call transcripts, summaries, and next steps, so nothing gets missed and your team responds faster. OpenPhone integrates with tools you already use, like Slack, HubSpot, and Zapier, so everything's connected and efficient.
Having tried just about every relevant small business phone system, OpenPhone is truly in a league of its own. It's now essential to how we run our business, and I couldn't be happier with the value it brings.
See why over 60,000 businesses trust OpenPhone. Try OpenPhone for free at openphone.com/try and get 20% off your first 6 months. That's openphone.com/try. openphone.com/TRY.
The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM, KMOX. Now, did you see this? With Chris and Amy.
Ron, you don't have any pets, right?
I do not.
Okay. So I'm just going to read the lead here from a news story. One day, your pet guinea pig Jelly Bean is taking a nap in his cozy little pigloo. And the next, he's being hand-delivered to the waiting jaws of a lion in northern Denmark. So there's a zoo in Denmark that is asking people to donate their unwanted pets to feed predators and imitate the natural food chain. So a zoo in northern Denmark is asking pet owners, hey guys, donate your unwanted guinea pigs, rabbits, chickens, and even small horses. We're not going to put them on display. We're going to feed them to some of the zoo's big predators. It will imitate the natural chain of the animals, the natural food chain of the animals. They say that way nothing goes to waste, and we can ensure natural behavior, nutrition, and the well-being of our predators. The zoo noted that your pet will be gently euthanized by trained staff before served up as food.
Well, I thought the whole point was the chase.
Lions, lynxes, and the Sumatran tiger.
Don't these animals want to hunt? Isn't it the instinct to want to chase the animal down and kill it?
I think these animals are used to being hand-fed on a silver platter, your guinea pig.
I think that's just rude.
Can you imagine taking your kids to the zoo and go, Mom, Dad, is that Jelly Bean?
That's just rude.
Well, I'm glad, though. That would be so cruel, though, to let your pet get eaten alive by a tiger. It kind of feels cruel anyway, to be honest.
Amy, you remember Ocean Gate, the Titan submersible that imploded?
Yeah.
As they were going down to explore the wreckage of the Titanic, and it happened back in June of 2023. It's been over 2 years since that happened.
Oh, wow.
Well, the Coast Guard has conducted and finally delivered their final report on the submersible implosion, and they have determined that it was, quote, preventable.
Yeah.
Which, yes. Do you know how it was the most preventable?
How?
By not going.
Yeah, well, yes.
By not, if you just did not go down there, you would not have died in an implosion.
Well, that's true, but also the Ocean Gate's former director
that guy was a real piece of crap.
The one guy, the former director of Marine Operations, was fired after he reported a bunch of concerns. So that guy.
Okay, that guy's fine, but I'm talking like the
owner,
CEO.
Was it Rush? Stockton Rush?
Stockton.
Yep. Stockton Rush. He refused to let the submarine go through a voluntary certification process, saying it would, quote, stifle innovation. Also, he attempted to train pilots, the pilots for the submarine, in a single day. One day of training would be enough. Also, they stored the vessel in an outdoor parking lot in Canada over the winter to save money.
And the elements got to it, and it got cold and then warm, and it expanded and contracted. Yeah. That's not good.
Insane. And again, the director that was fired, one of his big concerns was the sub's carbon fiber hull.
Yes, that was everybody's concern.
Yeah.
James Cameron talked about that. Like, you can't use this stuff. I really wish that guy, Stockton Rush, had gone down there by himself and imploded, because that guy sucked. What a piece of crap. You put all those people in danger knowingly. Awful. Hey, when we come back, we're going to talk to Greg Mitchell, who is the writer and director of the Atomic Bowl, Football at Ground Zero. There was a football game played at Ground Zero where the atomic bomb was dropped in 1945, 5 months after the fact. And we're going to talk to Greg about that and the fallout from it. That is next on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Cardinal Cowboy here. After proving the doctors wrong following my accident, I got back to baseball, started kicking field goals, then finally got paid as a pro kicker, and ultimately became a leader in the marketing world. That's why I trust Renner Garage Door, exceeding expectations for over 65 years. They service, sell, and install top brands like Delden, Amar, and LiftMaster. Get your free quote today. Check them out at RennerDoorSTL.com. Renner, forward and back. Giddy up!
RENNER, RENNER. Fairwinds River's Edge is more than a place to live, it's a place to belong. Come see why we have been voted Best Independent Senior Living Community for 4 years in a row by U.S. News & World Report. We think you'll like it here, and the experts agree. Come see us for yourself. Call to schedule a tour and complimentary lunch, or to learn more about our upcoming charity golf tournament benefiting the VFW National Home. Find us online at fairwindsriversedge.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell, definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit information kit. 800-311-9595. That's 800-311-9595. Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
The trusted voice of St. Louis. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
How many of you think taxes are going to go up in the future? And if they do, who will be hit the hardest? Maybe it's you, headed for retirement. You've been saving in that 401k or IRA, and that money has never been taxed. And Uncle Sam is looking at that account like it's a big, juicy steak. What can you do about it? Join the All Financial Group for their Taxes in Retirement Seminar, Tuesday, August 26th or Thursday, August 28th at Fleming's. They believe a financial plan is not a retirement plan without a tax plan. Fund your retirement, not Uncle Sam's. Reserve your spot today by calling 636-230-8824. That's 636-230-8824. Or online at yourmoneymattersstl.com.
Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor. Neither the firm nor its agents or representatives may give tax or legal advice. Individuals should consult with a qualified professional for guidance before making any purchasing decisions.
At 10 o'clock, we have sunny skies, 82 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Megan Lynch. The search continues this morning for hate crime suspect who set 3 cars on fire in Clayton and then wrote death to the IDF and graffiti on the street. IDF may mean Israel Defense Forces, as Clayton police called the messaging anti-Semitic, and the FBI is investigating it as a hate crime. The graffiti also included the name of someone who lives on Westmoreland Avenue where it happened. The fires were discovered around 3 o'clock yesterday morning. 4 teens under the age of 17 under arrest for carjacking a rideshare driver.
A 67-year-old Uber driver was picking up a fare on Kennerly Avenue Tuesday night when police say a suspect pulled a gun and demanded the driver get out of the car. The suspect then fired a shot as the driver exited, though the man was not injured. The car was later spotted, leading police on a chase that ended in Bridgeton. The 4 teens, ranging in age from 15 to 17, were arrested after a brief chase on foot. During the pursuit, 2 police officers collided, and 1 officer was taken to the hospital for minor injuries. Scott Jagal, KMOX News.
It turns out financial agreements aren't the only things a couple of Ivy League universities cut with the Trump administration.
In addition to paying fines of $250 million respectively to settle claims of violating anti-discrimination laws and tolerating anti-Semitism, Columbia and Brown will also share all college applicants' standardized test scores and grade point averages, including information about race. It's intended to satisfy claims universities are dodging a 2023 Supreme Court decision barring consideration of race in admissions. General data shows admission systems focused on standardized tests typically help Asian students and harm the chances of Black students. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
President Donald Trump expected to celebrate at the White House a commitment by Apple to increase its U.S. investments by an additional $100 billion over the next 4 years. Apple had previously said it intended to invest $500 billion domestically, a figure it will now increase to $600 billion. The Dow from Stifel this hour up 100 points at 44,211. The S&P 500 up 28 points at 6,327. Weather now, it's sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning and Electrical.
This afternoon will be rather hot and humid with plenty of sunshine and a high of 92. Then fair skies, warm and humid tonight, though 74. Tomorrow, more sun than clouds, hot and humid up to 94. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Currently, we've got sunny skies, 83 degrees in Florissant and St. Peter's, 82 downtown at the Arch. I'm Megan Lynch, KMOX News.
The mountains came over, we were having spaghetti when we suddenly noticed that we started getting sweaty. So we grabbed the keys and we ate it in the van. That's what my friend said, call Jerry Kelly, man, JerryKelly.com. Give him a call, even though it's late, JerryKelly.com.
Chris Ronchi, Amy Marks Kors, The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
A short time ago, an American airplane dropped one bomb on Hiroshima and destroyed its usefulness to the enemy. That bomb has more power than 20,000 tons of TNT. The Japanese began the war from the air at Pearl Harbor. They have been repaid many-fold.
That is the voice of President Harry S. Truman. As we mentioned earlier today, this week marks 80 years since the dropping of the atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. And as much as we've read about World War II and the dropping of the atomic bombs, I mentioned Chris Wallace's book, Countdown 1945, just a brilliant retelling of the days leading up to Truman making the decision to drop the bombs. Well, I had never heard of this football game that less than 5 months after an atomic bomb devastated Nagasaki and killed tens of thousands, the U.S. military staged a football game that featured famous pro football running backs and a Heisman Award-winning quarterback. And they played this game right there. And joining us now to talk more about the Atomic Bowl, as they call it, is Greg Mitchell. He's the writer and director of the new documentary, The Atomic Bowl, Football at Ground Zero and Nuclear Peril Today. Also, Greg Mitchell, want to mention, wrote a book of the same name, chronicling the Atomic Bowl. Greg, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you. Very happy to be here.
Until I saw the I guess it was the trailer for the movie, the documentary, The Atomic Bowl. I had no idea that this football game at Ground Zero took place just months after the bomb was dropped. Can you kind of set the table for our listeners? How did this come about?
Okay, thank you. Well, the atomic bomb was dropped on Nagasaki on August 9th. The U.S. occupation of Japan began about 6 weeks later, and they arrived in force in Hiroshima and Nagasaki, Navy, Marines, and Army, especially in Nagasaki. And not much is really, when you think about it, compared to the occupation of Europe. Most people have read or seen very, very little about the occupation of Japan, especially of the two atomic cities. So that alone is sort of an unusual story. So, my film, it kind of starts with the bombing, but then goes through the occupation and what the soldiers there, American soldiers, faced. And of course, they were sent off into the still radioactive zones of Nagasaki without much support or protection, and they spent months or weeks, in the ruins of Nagasaki themselves. And so it's a story of us, the U.S. sort of dangerously sending all these troops in there. But then one of the leaders had the bright idea of staging a football game in Japan with American All-Stars in the military. You mentioned the Heisman winner, Angelo Bertelli, and the Chicago Bears running back Bill Osmanski, and so they decided they would have a game in Nagasaki of all places. And not only that, but they cleared a field in front of a middle school where 175 teachers and students had been killed, a literal killing field, and they were staged it for January 1st, 1946, and back then the bowl games were always back in the U.S. The Rose Bowl and the Cotton Bowl and the Sugar Bowl were all played on January 1st. It wasn't until not that long ago that bowl games started getting split up on different dates. But back then, January 1st was New Year's Day bowl games. So they had a bowl game in Nagasaki, and it was called the Atomic Bowl, and it got a great deal of coverage for a couple days, and then it disappeared from history, more or less. Very little said written afterwards, which made it a good subject for me. But even the players, I said I talked to the children of players who said they never mentioned a word about it. The press never wrote about it for decades. Historians barely noted it. So there was something about having had the game there in the aftermath. It didn't seem like we were too happy or proud to talk about it. So that also makes it interesting.
Yeah, so what was the, and you don't have to give away everything here because we want people to read and watch the documentary. But what was the fallout from it, from just having that game and sending all of those people there?
Yeah, well, in the weeks after this and in months and years later, as you probably know, a lot of veterans, so-called atomic veterans, claimed that they had suffered severe health problems because of exposure to radiation there. And then, of course, in the hundreds of U.S. nuclear tests in the Pacific and in Nevada and so forth in the U.S. So you might say this was the beginning of the atomic veterans trend in America. And, there was, one person's featured in the documentary he was the public address announcer for the game, not one of the players. And he was one of those who claimed later that he got cancer, leukemia, and, was featured in the newspapers and so forth. So, we can't document completely because it was contested by the government at first, but after several decades, there began to be recognition and compensation for the soldiers who had been exposed to radiation.
The idea of organizing this football game, again, like you mentioned, you can see in the images here that middle school that had been bombed out, and just thinking of all the loss of life there. And I know there was a juxtaposition between the war going on and American soldiers trying to keep morale high by playing American sports, or even kind of having a cultural exchange by sharing American sports with the Japanese. Was this supposed to be one of those things, like a goodwill type game?
Well, I think that was partly it. It's a little hard to understand, but there had been a tradition in Europe and in the Pacific of sports contests even before the end of the war, and then after the war in Europe and in the Pacific, there were some football games and baseball games, and so there had been something of a tradition of sports contests, but this was kind of a different level, not only because of the all-star players who were involved and the fact that it was, in the occupation and in Nagasaki, kind of put it in a whole nother level. And I think there was a certain feeling, and again, I quote people in the documentary, which is, as you mentioned, was airing on PBS. You can watch it on pbs.org, all the PBS apps. It's streaming. It's also on local PBS stations. You can check, but it's very easy to find and watch at the PBS. But the players, one's quoted was that it was almost in honor of their fallen fellow soldiers who had died in the Pacific, who weren't able to survive, weren't able to live until the occupation, and so they weren't able to be in this occupation force. So the game was played with that in mind. But it certainly was something that would not, to me, go a long way in establishing camaraderie with the Japanese or all the post-war friendship that was supposed to develop. So I think there was a certain sense of, after it was played, both from the players and from the press and the military, to say, okay, let's turn the page on this. Maybe this wasn't such a great idea. And, hence it kind of disappeared into history. So I was happy in the film and the book to like bring it back and bring it back from the hidden buried history into audiences today.
The film is called The Atomic Bowl: Football at Ground Zero. Greg Mitchell is the writer and director with us now. And I'm really interested in this idea that people who were in favor of that first bomb in Hiroshima that happened 80 years ago today, not necessarily in favor of the second one in Nagasaki. That it seems like there's a little dissonance there, that you would think if you were in favor of one, you were probably on board with the other. But maybe there were a lot of people who just did not think the second one was necessary.
Yeah, that's a debate to today. There's a lot of historians and even military people, and certainly going back to Eisenhower and other top generals who felt that the second bomb was completely unnecessary, that one would have done the trick. And then, of course, there are many people who don't even think the first one should have been used. But with the Nagasaki bomb, as I show in the film and the book, was almost automated. Truman did not give a separate order for that. He was at crossing the ocean from Potsdam, and General Groves, Leslie Groves, who was head of the Manhattan Project, who was extremely pro bomb, let's say, was very anxious and vigorous to get as many bombs used as possible. So he sort of pushed forward the Nagasaki schedule. He did all kinds of steps that just were very extreme in getting that plane in the air. And of course, as we know, it didn't even, Nagasaki wasn't even the primary target. And so there's a certain sense of a assembly line process here that didn't have to happen. That the Japanese would have surrendered after the first bomb. And another point about Nagasaki is that I think kind of disturbs many people, is that it unlike Hiroshima, it did not have a major military base. In fact, very, very few of the dead there would be military at all. They were civilians, women and children. They were Korean workers who had been forced to go to Japan, and less than 1,000 military people were killed in the bombing. I think more POWs were possibly killed. So there are a lot of things, and of course that Nagasaki kind of reminds us today of civilian toll caused by the nuclear weapons, and of course it would be 1,000 times worse today. So in some ways, Nagasaki is an even stronger example than Hiroshima about what can happen with the use of these weapons, where hundreds of thousands, or today millions of people could be wiped out in literally 1 second. And so it's I think it's worth returning to Nagasaki today.
And Greg, before we let you go as well, you also directed the documentary Atomic Cover-Up, that was, I believe, on PBS a couple of years ago, correct, and still available. So you have both the documentary Atomic Cover-Up and the newer documentary, The Atomic Bowl.
Yes, that's right. The Atomic Cover-Up is still, it's won several awards and so forth. So PBS keeps it out there. You can just search for those titles, and you find it. And just, in a nutshell, Atomic Cover-Up was about how the U.S. For decades buried and suppressed the most important footage shot both by the Japanese and by the U.S. military in the aftermath of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. So it's quite another kind of dramatic untold story, but in that case, it's the U.S. Hiding the most important footage shot after the bombing. So there certainly is a connection there.
We appreciate you, Greg Mitchell, the work that you're doing, and this book and this film, The Atomic Bowl: Football at Ground Zero. Very interesting. And Greg Mitchell is the writer and director with us. We thank you so much for giving us your time today.
Well, thank you for having me on. I appreciate it.
That is Greg Mitchell. Again, give it a shot. The Atomic Bowl: Football at Ground Zero.
And that just a fascinating untold story. And then the other documentary from 2 years ago, Atomic Cover-Up. Pretty devastating. The footage, and this was, again, cover-up because they said a lot of times we would see the pictures of buildings bombed out, but we didn't see footage of people. Yep. And there's a reason why a lot of this footage was held back from us. It kind of it makes your stomach drop, takes your breath away. It's awful.
And also think about the tentacles of this and how many different layers there are and how it affects St. Louis with the waste from the Manhattan Project ending up here and causing us problems today.
That's such a good point. It has, it's changed world history. It's changed policy. It changes why we're talking about Putin and Russia and Ukraine in the terms that we do. Iran, you don't want a nuclear Iran, right? That's the conversation has to do with nuclear war there, right here in the Westlake landfill in Coldwater Creek. And again, like, as you know, with the movies and the documentaries that have come out, when they were testing this bomb, the scientists didn't know. They thought the whole atmosphere of the Western Hemisphere could ignite.
Yes.
They didn't know. They didn't know because they thought it would be a chain reaction.
Yep. Well, so I don't want to give it away. I know the movie's been out for over a year now, but the very end of Oppenheimer, there's an exchange with Oppenheimer and Albert Einstein in the movie, and it alludes to exactly what we're talking about now, which is it's haunting. It's really good if you haven't seen it. So I would recommend you do that. Amy Marks Kors and Chris Ranji. We'll talk some Cardinals at 10:30. John Rooney joins the show. He always does at 10:30 on Wednesday. A lot happening today, and we appreciate you being with us on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Paul's new drone startup just lost its most genius computer scientist.
We just lost our best genius to some new genius who's got a genius new idea. I'm going to have to find a new genius or two half geniuses and fast.
He needs a computer scientist that can keep his startup from falling down.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have Leaf Filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
Dive into adventure this summer at the St. Louis Aquarium's Summer of the Shark. Get face to fin with some of the ocean's most awe-inspiring creatures in shark-themed exhibits, jaw-dropping displays, and interactive experiences for the whole family. Whether you're a fin-tastic fan or just curious, there's hands-on fun and fascinating facts around every corner at the St. Louis Aquarium. Don't miss your chance to make a splash. Plan your visit today at stlewisunionstation.com. That's stlewisunionstation.com.
Calling all future sportscasters. Sharpen your skills and learn from the best of the Missouri Broadcasters Association Sportscasters Forum, Tuesday, September 16th in St. Louis. Join Cardinals beat reporters, broadcasters, and the legendary John Rooney, the voice of the Cardinals, for insider sessions on play-by-play, interviewing, reporting, and more. Then cap the day with a Cards-Reds game at Busch Stadium. Open to college students and broadcasting pros. Just $10 for students, lunch, and a game ticket. Space is limited. Register by September 2nd at MissouriBroadcasters.org.
Retiring soon? Get the information you need by joining Kyle Jones and Matt Allgeier of Fire Capital Management for your retirement highway, Sunday mornings at 9:30. Investment advisory services made available through Pine Ridge Advisors, LLC, registered investment advisors. Securities made available through AE Financial Services, LLC, member FINRA and SIPC.
Hi, my name is Christina Straight, the owner of Straight Realty, and I'm asking you, what do you want in a realtor? Do you want experience? I've been a broker for over 21 years. Do you want to know how much I've sold? I've sold over $500 million, yes, $1 billion with a B, in sales. Do you want value? I now list properties for only 2%. So if you're looking for all these things and want the best, then call me 314-441-4444. Why pay more than 2? You can also listen to my podcast on my website, straightrealty.com.
Commissions are not regulated and negotiable. Straight Realty is a licensed broker in the state of Missouri.
It's the Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM KMOX, sponsored by the St. Louis Aquarium. Explore the St. Louis Aquarium at Union Station.
Well, we talked about the beleaguered St. Louis public school system and the former superintendent, Dr. Keisha Scarlett, and how she was somehow managed to bring the school from a $17 million surplus to a $35 million deficit in 1 year. Pretty impressive. She hired a lot of her former friends and colleagues out of the Seattle School District or districts in Washington, from whence she came, and it turned into a huge scandal. Well, Missouri State Auditor Scott Fitzpatrick had a very critical, a blistering assessment of the SLPS yesterday. It gave the district, the auditor gave the district the lowest possible performance rating, which is poor, and warned that the current financial practices could render the district unable to finish the school year by 2031. The findings were detailed in a 100-plus page report, and it talked about just the obscene spending that took place under former Superintendent Keisha Scarlett. She was hiring people and paying them at times over $40,000 more per year than the allowable salaries that had been agreed upon. There was almost $4,000 spent at a Top Golf event. There was
I love Top Golf.
$1,700 for a four-night stay at Caesar's Palace in Las
Caesar's
Vegas.
Palace.
The district paid $1,100 in late credit card fees and allowed excessive credit limits, including
I love excessive credit limits.
One card had $450,000 credit limit. So again, it's insane and it's criminal. And the word that I used when we talked about this last time, going out to dinner, going on trips, going to Topgolf. Meanwhile, there are no buses to pick up kids to bring them to school. Remember this last year? The school year was starting and they didn't have bus routes down. We know that a member of the security team, maybe the head of the security team, just resigned last week, right before school is going to start. The word I used was gross, because it's insane to me that you could drive a surplus, a $17 million surplus, into a $35 million deficit in 1 year. That's insane. That would be like a movie. Remember that movie Brewster's Millions or whatever?
Yeah, we had to spend $30 million.
Yeah.
Was it like $30 million in 30 days?
But he
something like
couldn't
that.
Get richer. Like it couldn't be anything that he could keep that would be worth something.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. That's what this is. This would be a challenge. This would be a challenge for most people. But instead, the former superintendent managed to drive the St. Louis public schools, which are already beleaguered, already struggling, into a deficit, and it's stealing from kids, and that's why it's gross.
So
this money should go to the kids. This money is supposed to help the families.
Yes.
And you're going to Caesar's Palace. You're going to Topgolf. You're using $1,200 for an Airbnb rental. Meanwhile, there's no buses to pick up the kids. The kids can't get to school. Baby school is the only place they get a meal.
What I hate about this is there are people who just think that public schools should not get more money, that they aren't necessarily going to improve school districts by them being better funded, which is not true, because then you have cases like this. You have something like this that's happened, and then it's sort of, like when something happens downtown.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot what the thing was that happened like a week or two ago, and it gives people permission to say, yeah, see, that's why I don't go downtown, because that happened. And when something like this happens, this gives people who don't really care for funding public schools permission to say that's why we shouldn't fund public schools, when that's not really the truth. The truth is you just got to hire better people to run these damn things. It shouldn't be that difficult to find good people to be in charge of a public school system. And I think that in most cases, in most school systems, you do have good people with good intentions who are trying to do right by students. And then you have, I don't know if you call it incompetence, whatever this is. It makes it harder. It makes it harder to make that argument.
But this school shouldn't get any more money until they figure out what the hell's going on, because it's not just hiring better people. You need to hire better people to hire better people.
I would also love to know what's happening with the Francis Howell superintendent that they hired back in March, and he never really spent a day on the job, but they're giving him $230,000 to go away because he's taken a job in Oklahoma.
I wish I could get paid $250,000 to go away.
I have read this story 15 times. I do not understand what's going on, and they don't want to talk about what's going on.
Let's bring it up at 11:15.
Let's do that. Chris and Amy on 104.1 FM KMOX. John Rooney joins the show next.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
The Dave Glover Show.
If you sit down with me and we talk about who I am, what I am, my values, political, voting record, you're never going to walk away and go, that guy's a bleeding heart progressive. I'm just not stupid. And I just don't take bait. And I just don't do things because you tell me to, or that I'm afraid that if I don't, fall in line or get on the bandwagon, people aren't going to like me. Been there, done that for years.
The Dave Glover Show, now on FM 104.1 FM KMOX.
Get ready, St. Louis. Two acclaimed performers will headline a summer finale on the Muni stage Thursday, August 28th. International music icon Diana Ross and multi-Grammy Award-winning artist John Baptiste. And this is your chance to win a premium VIP experience to see the show. VIP includes a pair of box seats, a pair of VIP pre-party tickets, free drinks at the intermission bar, and a free parking pass. Register now online at KMOX.com/contest for your chance to win.
Currently, it is 83 degrees, real feel temperature 98, mostly sunny today. This is the beginning of an extended heat wave, I regret to say. The high today, 92. Tonight, low 70. Weather sponsored by the Penn Mutual Life Insurance Company, pennmutual.com/STL. Chances are you have a lot of people who depend on you, your family, maybe even employees. Life insurance from Penn Mutual can provide you peace of mind and protect the most important people in your life. Ask your independent advisor or go to pennmutual.com/STL.
You've got a ton of equity in your home. You're sitting on a gold mine, and you could do so much with all that cash, like travel, invest it, or pay off debt, but you can't touch it unless you sell your home. But you really don't want to move. And besides, homes are sitting on the market for a long time these days. You're trapped, right? Well, not with TrueHold. With TrueHold, you can cash out your equity in as little as 30 days. And listen, you don't have to move. You can stay in the home you love as a renter. So that's TrueHold's Sell and Stay program. You cash out your entire home's value and stay put. TrueHold even covers property taxes, property insurance, and essential repairs. So imagine using that equity to travel, invest, or pay off debt and stay in your home. It's brilliant, especially in this slow market. You get an all-cash offer now by calling 1-855-300-9993. You can also visit TrueHold.com, the smarter, faster way to cash out on your home's value without moving. That's TrueHold.com.
Don't get lulled into believing the IRS is getting soft. It's just the opposite. Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. We are being told by IRS collection officers that their higher-ups are demanding that they get more aggressive than ever. So don't ignore them any longer. Level up. If you have unfiled returns, unpaid taxes, levies, or liens, call the Lance Story Law Firm today and let us get between you and the IRS. We'll protect your rights, including your right to appeal or even your right to take the IRS to tax court. Remember, IRS problems are legal problems, and they need to be handled by an expert attorney team who's done it for decades. So call the Lance Story Law Firm today. We're local. Our office is right here in St. Louis, or visit Lance, DRURY, law.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm, the Lance Story Law Firm, 314-260-6120.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Now, the John Rooney Conversation on KMOX, sponsored by Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance. We are Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance. And if you're a Missourian, we're for you.
Swings and he hits a high fly ball, deep right field. The game is tied. A 2-run homer for Nolan Gorman.
Cardinals have split the series so far with the Dodgers in Los Angeles. Afternoon game is coming up today, but it's one of those late afternoon contests. Gets started at 3:10. Our pregame show is at 2:15 right here on 104.1 FM KMOX. Cardinals trying to win the series against the Dodgers. We go to the guest line. Here comes John Rooney, the voice of the Redbirds, and he's with us now on KMOX. How's it going in L.A., John?
Well, getting ready to get on the bus, go to the ballpark, and play a game today, and hopefully the Cardinals can get this series. They played the Dodgers very well overall last night. I think it shows you what we talk about. You're as good as that night's starting pitcher when you see what Sonny Gray did in Game 1 and what Miles Michaelis couldn't do in Game 2. That is the difference, and we are 1-1 with Ohtani going up against Matthew Liberatore of the Cardinals today.
What is your assessment of Miles Michaelis and the season he's had and maybe why it hasn't gone, the way they've expected it to go?
Too many pitches in the middle of the plate. I think it's that simple. And you do that to a Max Muncy or a Teoscar Hernandez, and 3 home runs right there and 5 runs that are up on the board. And then when the Cardinals closed the gap to 2 runs, the bullpen couldn't hold it at that point, and the Dodgers finally heated up. They've been averaging just over 3 runs a game for a long time, and last night they broke out, but way too many hittable pitches. That's the problem.
Yeah, it hasn't gone his way. And now post-deadline, with the Cardinals having made moves with the bullpen and, almost in the entire back half of their bullpen getting traded away to nobody's surprise. I think we all sort of felt that was coming. How does a bullpen, I know it's sort of a next man up kind of thing, but it's difficult to do that when you lose 3 relievers, 3 really good, dependable back end relievers to get through the rest of the season. How does a team do that? Because you still got 2 months to go.
Well, I mean, these are young players, Chris, and they're going to take their knocks. I mean, Glavin, Maddox, all those guys, they did when they came up, and they're in the Hall of Fame. But I'm not saying these guys are going to be Hall of Famers, but I think they'll learn from being in an environment like San Diego and in Los Angeles at Dodger Stadium on this road trip, and to be in that environment, to be under those circumstances, facing star power the way they faced it in both series, I think that will only make them better. And after all, this is a game of failure in many respects. And you have to pick yourself up from that and move on. And those who do have nice careers. Those who don't, they get replaced. But the Cardinals are finding out what they have. Gordon Graceffo has taken some knocks, and Andre Granillo, but I think they will benefit, and I think they will get better from that because they have ability. And I like what I saw from Matt Swanson. Swanson came in last night, struck out the side, and then the next inning left a runner, Mookie Betts, on third base. And he showed that, yes, he's ready to compete at this level. Now, is he going to have some failure along the way? Of course he is. But the way he bounces back from that is all too important. And I think that a lot of these young guys are going to grow. But, yes, there is a big hole out there where you were going with your setup guys. Matz was coming in facing a lane of left-handed batters and doing a decent job of that. And then you had Maton, who was fabulous. I wouldn't mind seeing him back in the future. And then Helsley, of course, was the National League Reliever of the Year last year, and he has moved on to trying to help the New York Mets. But those guys were going to be free agents, and the Cardinals were interested in getting young players to help bolster their minor league system, and that's what they did.
Of course, players go out there every night trying to win. They are aware of roster changes and, what the front office has done at the deadline. Obviously, you would know that. And so they're trying to win every day. But what do you think, aside from getting wins, what is the most important thing that the Cardinals can accomplish here in August and September?
Well, they're trying to develop. That's the whole point. When you're trying to develop, and if you do that and you see those players making mistakes, whether they're pitchers or position players, and they correct those and they move on from those and improve and find ways to make adjustments. This is a game of adjustments. You can't find ways to make adjustments, you're not going to develop and you're not going to win in the future anyway. But I think that is the most important thing they've tried doing since spring training, is giving people like Nolan Gorman a lane, except injuries have derailed him, and giving Jordan Walker a way to improve and work on things at the plate, work on things in the outfield. I think he's improved a lot in the outfield, and he's looked a little better at the plate since he came back from the appendix situation. And that's what they need to do the next couple of months is develop these young pitchers and work with them. And that staff is definitely committed to that. They work hard every day. Those guys are in the clubhouse early. They're out on the field. They're going through their drills. They're going through the instruction, and they're trying to implement that and get that into a game. The way Ivan Herrera has come on, showing his hitting prowess, and as he gets healthier from his injuries, he's playing some in left field. I don't know how much he'll be back there behind the plate, but I would imagine he would in the future. And Joel Pozo's been a nice addition to the club. Guy's 6 for 12 as a pinch hitter with 4 go-ahead RBIs as a pinch hitter this year. That's one of the best in Major League Baseball. But to develop players, get the confidence, get them used to playing at this level, and then as time goes by, you add on to those players and you build your team.
It hasn't been a ton of games, but you mentioned Herrera playing the outfield. What do you think of him being out there and how he's done so far?
He's looked okay out there, and he's going to work very hard with John Jay in improving. And it's too bad that he didn't start that a little bit earlier in his career down at the minor league level. But I think his progress is okay. Not ready to award a Gold Glove yet because it's a very small sample size, but he has not embarrassed himself at all.
You talked about the development of the players, and I mean, outside of, John Mozeliak, I don't know who else is watching the game with such an eye for detail as you are day in and day out, calling the games, seeing the players, seeing the habits. Has there been maybe some development within a player or two that you see that hasn't been talked about? And you're like, hey, I'm noticing this change with this guy.
Well, Alec Burleson has come a long way as a first baseman. As Burleson has played in the outfield and he's played at first, he might be the Cardinals' best first baseman. And that's nothing against what Wilson Contreras has done, making the change from catcher to first base. He's had a few freshman mistakes there in the process, but not many. And I like the way the Cardinals have handled first base. Really haven't missed Paul Goldschmidt defensively at first that much at all. But Burleson's development, the guy's a hitter first and foremost, but having him in the lineup, and he's fouled a couple of pitches off that big toe on the right foot. And I think that's really affected him in recent games. He did it again last night. And that I know he's in pain with that, but he's a tough guy and he plays through it. That's what I like about Alec Burleson. And I'm glad that he's in that lineup every day because I think he gives the Cardinals a chance. But I'd like to see Nolan Gorman improve at third base. He's had some tough plays, tough situations since coming back from the injured list, and he is coming back from a back issue. I'm hoping that's something that he can strengthen and that won't bother him all that much in the future because what was on display last night with that home run he hit to tie the game at 2, it's tremendous power. And so you see the potential there. But it's a matter of developing young players, and that's what they stated last offseason, right at the end of the season, going into spring training and moving forward. And the fact that the Cardinals are this close to 500, I don't think many in baseball gave the Redbirds a chance to have a record like this at this point with a little less than 2 months to go.
John, one of my favorite parts about listening to baseball on the radio, listening to KMOX is, yes, the baseball itself, but also the storytelling that specifically radio broadcasters have to do. I love words. Words fascinate me. And I remember reading a while ago where you were talking about your career and you getting started. And you said that when you first got your job with CBS, one of the innings that you sent them, like an example of your work, was an inning where nothing happened. And that's what they liked because anybody can call a home run, but you sent them an inning where nothing happened to see how you handled that. Do I have that story right?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I was going through a lot of tapes, and we had tape back then. We didn't have the digital. That was back when I think I was calling Babe Ruth playing T-ball at the time. So no, it was, I was going through what I would send someone to try to get a major league job. And I was doing an Oklahoma City team that lost around 100 games in a 136 game schedule. There were new ways to lose every night as Dallas Green raided the Phillies minor league system, taking most of those players to Chicago, like Ryan Sandberg and Bob Dernier and Warren Brewster and Porfi Altamirano and on and on and on. The Cubs were basically built to contend for a division with Phillies minor league players that happened to develop very well together, and what the Cardinals are trying to do right now. But I had a game where it was about a 10 or 15 minute inning, top and bottom, and I just sent that along, and there were a couple of good defensive plays in there, but it was a matter of trying to tell the story of that season and things that were going on and what was happening with young players coming up from Class A mostly to play at the AAA level. And it worked out. But I had the approach that, yes, anybody can call a grand slam. And I'm sure that CBS radio got plenty of those calls. And anybody can, call the great, extra base hit, a triple, and that's a very exciting play. But it's how you handle things and tell stories. And I think that's what makes a broadcaster better as time goes by in his or her career, because you have a chance to gain more stories and experience more and then relate that. And I think that's why baseball storytelling has been so good from so many wonderful, terrific announcers that have worked in this sport.
2:15 pregame show today. Cardinals will then play the Dodgers at 3:10. John Rooney has the first pitch this afternoon on KMOX. And hey, John, how do you feel about that Dodger Stadium sound system? It is loud in that ballpark.
Oh, it has been for years.
Yeah.
And then Mike Shannon used to say all the time, I think that's the system the Beatles left out here when they were here. I got a kick out of that all the time from Mike. Said that at Shea Stadium, and I think they brought that over to Citi Field too. But no, it's an NBA game out here, and I don't particularly care for it. I actually think the Padres have a better game experience than the Dodgers do.
Oh, interesting.
But the Dodgers, they're winning. They're packing them in, and they have a chance to do $4 million at the gate, and I know they get a lot of ad revenue for all the signs in the ballpark, and it's an example of definitely a big market team, and they can. That's another thing, they can spend and make mistakes where other clubs can't really do that. And I'm not sure that the Dodgers and Padres are going to have easy sailing down the stretch here, because those relief pitchers getting to 50 and above appearances right now with 2 months left to go. We'll see how they manage them, but they certainly have enough power within the lineup to score some runs, but it's a matter of keeping the other team from scoring too. So the Cardinals found that out last night. They scored 6 runs, but the Dodgers scored a lot more.
All right, John, go get them today.
All right. Talk to you next week.
John Rooney, voice of the Cardinals. He, again, will have the call of first pitch. Cardinals baseball's today at 3:10. Pregame show at 2:15.
4 million through
That's
the
a
gate
lot, dude.
is almost 50,
Cardinals get-
is almost 50,000 people a game for 81 games.
Cardinals, when they were doing really well, and attendance has dropped a lot this year, but 3 million?
Yeah.
You get 3 million in the ballpark? So
That's selling
4
out,
is-
basically.
Yes, 4 is nuts.
Yeah.
4 million a season? Oh, my God. Dodgers they're a spectacle, man. Amy Marks Kors and Chris Ranji, we have a question of the week, and we're going to present it to you again and get your thoughts on it. Stick around. We'll tell you about it next on KMOX.
We are Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance, and we're here for all of life's wins. Like when you get a new car, or new boat, or new driver, or when your son moves out, but your mom moves in, or you find out you're expecting again, or when one rental property turns into 2, then 20, or you realize they're all in Tornado Alley. Life is full of life events, so call your Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance agent or visit mofbinsurance.com to find an agent near you, and we'll make sure you have the right coverage for each of life's wins.
We are Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance, and we're for the people of Missouri, in good times and in bad. We're for Missouri families and Missouri communities. We're for giving back to those communities and lifting people up. And when Missouri weather rips through our state, we're for helping put back the pieces. We're for brighter days and new tomorrows. We are Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance. And if you live in Missouri, we're for you.
Hey, it's Debbie Monterey, and between now and the end of the summer, chances are that you or someone you know is in the market to buy or sell a home. And like me, you probably know a few realtors. Well, yeah, I know several as well, but when someone I know needs to sell their home, I always recommend Gloria Liu with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. I've been telling you about Gloria for years now, and here's why you should call, because no matter what the market does, Gloria Liu will guarantee up front and in writing to sell your home at 100% of market value, or Gloria will pay you the difference.
St. Louis home sellers, if you're looking for certainty and the most money guaranteed for the sale of your home, call me, Gloria Liu. My name is My Promise, Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Call me directly at 314-325-6888 or visit me online at gloriahasthebuyers.com. That's gloriahasthebuyers.com.
Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, HIMS.com/JOY.
Hello, St. Louis. This is Joe Hart, one of the 6 certified arborists with Timberline Professional Tree Care. It's summer in St. Louis, and the extreme heat and prolonged dry conditions can lead to big problems with your trees. Trees depend on soil moisture to remain healthy, and drought stress over time can weaken a tree's natural defenses against insects and fatal disease. Promoting general health of your trees with a wide area of mulch over the root system, periodic deep watering, and growth regulator treatment is a great way to ensure your trees stay healthy for years to come. It's also time of the year to resume maintenance pruning on oak trees. At Timberline, we have the knowledge, experience, and equipment to handle any of your tree care needs, including prevention of fatal diseases, pruning, removal, and lightning protection. Read our online reviews. They're all 5-star, and we will not rest until you are satisfied. Call Timberline Professional Tree Care today at 636-479-7475 or visit our website at stltreecare.com.
The reason many of us hate insurance companies is because some of them act like bullies. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. I've been dealing with these creatures my whole career. Whether it's a workers' comp claim, an auto accident, or a nursing home or medical mishap, the playbook is often the same: deny and delay. We became the largest injury firm in America for a reason. We fight the bullies. They know who we are, and I know it makes a difference for our clients. Just go to forthepeople.com and see our results and our verdicts after those bullies gave us their final offer. Hiring the wrong firm can be disastrous. Hiring the right firm could substantially increase your settlement. It's easy to get going. Visit forthepeople.com on your phone or computer or call us on your cell at Pound Law, pound 529. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm, forthepeople.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. Past results afford no guarantee of future results. Every case is different and must be judged on its own merits.
Today, the Cards, the Dodgers. Ameren Total Access 215. Cardinals Radio. 104.1 FM KMOX.
Well, thank you for listening, you disgusting people out there.
Gross.
Well, the good
Listeners
news
to this
is
show,
only 13.5% of you are disgusting.
yeah, but that number keeps growing
It does
because the
keep
last
growing.
time we checked in, it was 10%.
Okay, what are we talking about? The question of the week. Our question of the week, which we debuted yesterday. How often do you wash your bed sheets? The options are once a week, once every 2 weeks, once a month, or you don't want to know.
You don't want to know.
It's
so gross.
And really, Amy, if you're rounding up, it's 14%.
Yeah, if you're rounding
so
up,
far,
14% of you responded, you don't want to know.
so 35% of you have so far said once a week
Mhm.
you wash your bed sheets.
Which
30
I don't believe. Well, we had someone else say they don't believe it. Who was it? One of the
I think it was a
listeners,
texter.
a texter said that
Yeah.
they absolutely don't believe that 35% of people wash their bed sheets once a week.
Yeah, I don't know if I believe that either. But I don't know why you wouldn't answer honestly. It's not like we can see who you are.
It's not like Instagram. Instagram, you can see who voted which way.
Oh, you can?
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay. That's why we don't do Instagram polls. We want this to be anonymous. So once a week is at 35%. Once every 2 weeks, almost 31%. Once a month is 21%. That's a little higher than I would like.
That's a little higher than I would like.
Once a month?
I think
1/5 of you?
Yeah. I do.
Once a month?
I feel like they're being honest, though.
I
the
agree
once
with
a month
that.
people are being honest because that's not something to be proud of.
No.
The once a week, I am once a week, but I'm 7 to 10 days because, like I said, I do wash my pillowcases more frequently than that. It's good for your face to wash your pillowcases every 2 days, which is I don't do every 2 days. That's really frustrating. That's just a lot. But yeah, every few days you should wash your pillowcases. But I will say 7 to 10 days, I wash my bed sheets. By day 10, I'm kind of grossed out.
Yeah.
But I am a person who showers before bed.
Right.
And I don't have a pet.
We'll find out, I guess, on Friday, or you will find out on Friday from Michael Kelly what he does.
I know
it's
he's
got to
once a
be
week.
like he's once a week.
I think we talked about this with him before.
He showers twice a
Honestly,
day.
It might be twice a week. He might have someone. I think he hired someone just to wash his sheets. I bet.
He showers 2 times a day, no matter what. At morning, at night, in the morning.
Yeah, today's a 2-shower day. 2 days ago was a 3-shower day.
Oh, yeah.
That's kind of a pain, though, because that's just who has time for that?
Coming up here is about a 3-shower day. Like, as
The
hot
weather?
as it's going to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
have we heard back from our guy? Was it Rob who called in yesterday who was going to have a conversation with his wife?
No.
Oh,
Was it Rob?
No.
That was his name, wasn't
he
it?
might not be coming down to breakfast anymore.
He was about to have a conversation with his wife about letting the dog in the bed, and he was finally going to put his foot down. So
that was
if
such a bad idea.
Yeah, let us know if you
dude.
did, Rob. If you're listening, we'd like to know how it went, or if you chickened out.
I hope for Rob's sake that he chickened out.
No,
Rob,
I hope he did
Rob
it.
may not be coming down to breakfast anymore if he tried to put his foot down.
When we come back, comedian and actress Angela Johnson Reyes, friend of the show, she joins us next on KMOX, the Family Reunion Tour, coming to St. Louis in November.
Eggland's Best. The only eggs with more fresh and delicious taste, plus superior nutrition. Available in so many delicious varieties. Classic, cage-free, organic, free-range, and pasture-raised. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
There's nothing like when you get that part from eBay and it just fits. Yeah, the first time. So you can do less of this and get right back to more of this. At eBay, you'll find all the parts you need, guaranteed to fit, at prices you'll love. Sounds good, doesn't it? eBay, things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
When my business was taking off, our old phone system just wasn't cutting it. We needed fewer missed calls, more flexibility, and better visibility into customer conversations. That's when I found OpenPhone.
OpenPhone is the all-in-one system for small businesses and growing teams. Manage multiple numbers from one device, work seamlessly as a team with shared numbers, and stay organized with AI-powered call transcripts, summaries, and next steps, so nothing gets missed and your team responds faster. OpenPhone integrates with tools you already use, like Slack, HubSpot, and Zapier, so everything's connected and efficient.
Having tried just about every relevant small business phone system, OpenPhone is truly in a league of its own. It's now essential to how we run our business, and I couldn't be happier with the value it brings.
See why over 60,000 businesses trust OpenPhone. Try OpenPhone for free at openphone.com/try and get 20% off your first 6 months. That's openphone.com/try. openphone.com/TRY.
Mid-America's most trusted voice for news. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Chris Ranji for Siteman Cancer Center, and you have to know that you are somebody's favorite person, and your health matters not just to you, but it matters to people who care about you. Getting screened early for any cancer, whether it's colon or breast cancer, prostate cancer, or lung cancer, it is important to do that. Siteman has set up a website called GetScreenedNow.com. And when you go to it, it's going to help you find a location nearer you. If you live a little farther out from St. Louis and don't want to make the trip into the city, you can get screened closer to home. GetScreenedNow.com, because for me, I'm over 45. It's time for that colonoscopy. Third leading cause of cancer-related deaths in both men and women. And GetScreenedNow.com will help you find a location that is good for you. Doing it early, really, really important. GetScreenedNow.com.
At 11 o'clock, we have sunny skies, 84 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Megan Lynch. Parts of Fort Stewart in southeast Georgia locked down Wednesday after an active shooter reported on the sprawling Army post. Lieutenant Colonel Andrew Tomko told the Associated Press it's not immediately known if anyone's been injured. They said they are currently assessing the situation, but are confirming that active shooter. A post on Fort Stewart's Facebook page told all personnel in the lockdown area to stay inside and close and lock all windows and doors. Fort Stewart is located about 40 miles southwest of Savannah. It's the largest Army post east of the Mississippi River. It's home to thousands of soldiers assigned to the Army's 3rd Infantry Division. Stay with KMOX for the latest on the story. St. Louis City Police arrest 4 underage teens for carjacking an Uber driver.
It all began around 11:30 Tuesday night when a 67-year-old Uber driver arrived for a pickup in the 4400 block of Kennerly Avenue. St. Louis police say a suspect pulled a gun and demanded the driver get out of the car. The driver complied, and the suspect fired a shot at him as he did so. The driver was not injured. About an hour later, the Real-Time Crime Center located the car. Officers tried a traffic stop near Union and Cote Brilliant, but the car fled. Police pursued the vehicle into St. Louis County, where it got a flat tire in Bridgeton near 70 in Lindbergh. The 4 suspects fled on foot, but were later arrested. Scott Jagow, KMOX News.
A 16-year-old, 17-year-old, and 2 15-year-old boys later taken to St. Louis County juvenile detention. With rates of anxiety, depression, and suicide rising among children and teens, mental health advocates are applauding a new Illinois law that will require mental health screening for students.
I hope for every child that struggles, that they get the help that they need so that they're here with us.
Sarah Gray is executive director of the Illinois chapter of the National Alliance on Mental Illness. Gray says state guidelines for the screenings are still being formed.
Early intervention leads to the best outcomes. And it's a screening tool, not to diagnose. There's a big difference.
The law takes effect for the 2027-28 school year for 3rd through 12th graders in Illinois public schools. Apple committing to invest another $100 billion in U.S. manufacturing. CBS's Aaron Navarro has more from Washington.
They're going to expand their manufacturing in states like Michigan, Texas, and California. It also includes an increase of at least 20,000 people hired in the U.S., more manufacturing of Apple's AI, and an initiative known as the American Manufacturing Program to bring more of Apple's supply chain of critical components when it comes to smartphones and electronics to the U.S.
The Dow from Stifel this hour up 139 points at 44,251.
This afternoon will be rather hot and humid with plenty of sunshine and a high of 92. Then fair skies, warm and humid tonight, though 74. Tomorrow, more sun than clouds, hot and humid up to 94. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Sunny skies, 85 degrees in Florissant and St. Peters and 84 downtown at the Arch. I'm Megan Lynch, KMOX News.
Weather sponsored by Renner Garage Door, forward and back, RENNER.
Cardinal Cowboy here. For over 65 years, Renner Garage Door has delivered top-notch service, sales, and installation. Get your free estimate today. RennerDoorSTL.com. Renner, forward and back.
RENNER. RENNER. The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM KMOX and the free Odyssey app.
I'm approaching the age where I'm gonna start getting my clothes the same place I get my groceries. Say I won't. You will catch me at Costco. About to get them Kirkland jeans, them Kirkland socks, that Kirkland body wash.
Yeah, it's a little close to home.
Are you getting clothes at
Dude,
Costco?
Costco's where it's at. It's the absolute
Does Walmart
best.
count because they're... We'll
no,
ask
that's
her.
Sam's. Yeah, we'll ask her. But
We're gonna
Costco's got those Lulu dupes, man. It's the place to be. Well, that was the voice of comedian Angela Johnson Reyes. She is joining the show for a second time. We first caught up with her, maybe, was it a year or two ago, when her special Say I Won't was released on YouTube. Now she will be coming back to St. Louis in November 15th at the Pageant with the family reunion tour. And I think she's currently maybe on City 7000. She's got a lot of dates here. Angela, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to chat with us.
Hey, thank you for having me. It's always great to talk to you guys.
Absolutely. Well, how is the tour going? You are smack dab in the middle of it. Like I said, a ton of dates, and November 15th, you'll be in St. Louis.
That's right. It's going great. We started off the tour on a bus traveling all across the country, and I have my whole family with me, and that's why it's a family reunion tour. It's like, you bring your family, I'll bring my family. Let's meet up at the theater and have a good time. And it's a family-friendly show, so you can bring whoever you want and not feel like you're going to be embarrassed by anything that I say.
You're not going to work blue.
Nah, keep it family friendly, and I want everybody to be able to come and have a good time.
That's great. So have you started yet buying clothes at Costco and the grocery store?
Have I? Yes.
Okay.
I have actual Kirkland slippers.
Wait, so
I have
hold on. They
Kirkland
do actually.
sweatshirt.
Kirkland does actually make clothes.
Yes.
I thought it was just food.
Oh, Angela, this poor guy. Now,
I don't have
it's
Costco.
just him, so he doesn't have a Costco membership in
Yeah.
his sad little lonely life.
And it's too far away.
Yeah, but Costco, I
I
mean,
get it.
There you can get everything you need at Costco.
You need some camping supplies. We got you. You need 400 bottles of water. We got you. You need alcohol for a party, toilet paper, and they even have like some healthy stuff too. Like there'll be like this new, whatever, gluten-free, blah, 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 blah. And they dip into everything. They give you some good poison. You got some Gatorade with all the colors in it. We'll give you that, whatever you want.
The taco platter is where it's at. I got that taco platter a lot. That's a good one.
Ooh, yes. The taco platter's good.
My dad, okay, the Walmart version of Costco is Sam's. And
oh yeah. Oh, for sure.
My dad for years wore Sam's pants. That's what we called them, his Sam's pants.
Sam's pants.
He wore them to work. He wore them everywhere. Yeah. Those things had more
cute.
pleats than you could imagine.
Well, let me tell you, my in-laws, they are Sam's members as well. They'd rather do Sam's than Costco, but I got, it's a 2-person membership for Costco, and I had a coveted spot available that I could give my membership to.
Wow.
And I chose to give it to my father-in-law, and he never goes because he prefers Sam's. I'm like, sir, I'm going to need you to give that back. This is a coveted membership.
Absolutely. I can imagine if you're touring with your family, your husband's family, your in-laws, all of that. I mean, you're basically traveling with future content, right? I got to imagine it's been pretty interesting.
100. I write my new hour while I'm performing my current hour.
Yeah, so because you're traveling is it your daughter 2 or 3 now?
Yeah. She's 2. She's 2 now, and we're just starting potty training. It's going to be a whole fun experience.
So what is that like, traveling with somebody who's potty training?
Well, we're about to start it,
Oh,
so
you
I
haven't
will
done
let
it
you
yet.
know.
Okay.
No, we start potty training next week, and then we get back on the bus in October 1st. So hopefully she'll have it under her belt a little bit by the time we get there.
So the family reunion tour, will it dip into some of the material from Say I Won't? Is it all brand new?
Oh, it's all brand new. It's a whole new hour. If you've seen my Say I Won't special, it's on YouTube. Thank you so much for watching it. It's my first self-produced, self-financed special. It's my number 6 special. We filmed it in Nashville at the Ryman Auditorium, historical venue. Legends have been on that stage. I'm talking Johnny Cash, Dolly Parton, Elvis Presley, and then they let us riff-raff come in there and tell some jokes. And I filmed it, and I said, I'm going to put this one back on the platform that started my career for me all those years ago when that one video went viral, that nail salon video. And so I put it up on YouTube for free for the fans as my thank you. Thank you for riding with me for so long and sharing my material with everybody, because it helped me get to where I am today. And it did so well on YouTube that I'm pretty sure we're just going to continue doing my specials on YouTube.
So it's a very different world, comedy now, as opposed to 10, 15 years ago. Getting a special is, it's not that it's easy. To get it on a platform, it's still difficult. You can't just throw it on Netflix. You know, you can't, I mean, you can put it on YouTube, but to produce it, that process of getting that done, and you're doing it by yourself, for yourself, how difficult is it? Or do you feel like it's fairly easy?
I mean, you got to have the right partners and the right people to help you in the areas where you're not an expert, you know, and so you get a good production company, and it's, you know, it's expensive, and you take risks on yourself. And if you're going to take a risk on anybody, you take a risk on yourself. And so that's kind of what we're doing.
When you've done the stand-up, you've produced your own shows. You also mentioned the viral video, the nail salon. And so since then, I mean, you've been on so many different film opportunities, television shows. You were on an episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm as well.
I was. I was.
How was that? Like, how are those experiences when you're jumping into a completely different experience, like filming, having an interaction with Larry David?
Right. Well, that audition in itself was an improv audition. We just had to show up, and they give you a little piece of paper, and on the paper, there's some story points to get to. They're like, okay, this is what's happening in the scene. We want you to get to this point and this point. Go. And like, that's pretty much it. Like, you have to just make up your own words in the moment, but you got to follow the storyline beats. And so that's what we did for the audition. And then I booked it, and it was so much fun. I mean, it's a little intimidating, you know, improvising with Larry David, but he's so good and so fun that it was just the best time.
And it was your own shirt, right? That was like your favorite shirt that you wore?
Yeah, I wore that shirt in headshots. I wore that shirt. Like, I would wear that shirt all the time. I probably auditioned in the shirt, and they were like, yeah, let's just wear this one.
I love it.
There's a whole Seinfeld episode where Jerry's dating a woman who wears the exact same outfit every day. So you kind of,
that's funny.
Yeah, you kind of played that out for Larry David.
I did it. That was me. You're welcome, everyone.
Thank you so much. Angela Johnson Reyes, comedian, with us now on KMOX. When we talked to you, you told us about being an Oakland Raiderette, and but I didn't know. I don't think you told us that you were a Rookie of the Year. So what does that mean?
I'm an award-winning Raiderette. Look at that.
Yeah, nice. What do you get for that?
Flowers.
Okay.
That's it?
Yep.
Well,
here's a bouquet of flowers.
And the honor. Show
the honor.
The honor. Yeah. Of being the
It's all about the honor.
How are the fans at the Raider fans? Because, you know, you hear things about Raider fans.
Yeah. Let me tell you, everything you've heard, exactly 100% correct. That's exactly how it's like.
So all the men all the men are well behaved to the cheerleaders. They don't misbehave.
We will fight you. Actually, they love the cheerleaders. The Black Hole, our crazy fans. They're kind of like our security. I remember before the games, they would pick a group of Raiderettes to go walk through the tailgating party, and if anyone even dared to step out of line, there was always some fan there to check them and be like, no, that's because we were like their royalty. Really, you don't say that. You don't do that. No. And we didn't have to do anything. They would protect us from any drunk, you know, who was getting out of line.
It's like a biker gang.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, very much so.
So we've got the special that came out a couple of years ago. We talked about it. How do you feel like your comedy, because it's only been a couple of years, but a lot can happen in 2 years. How do you feel like it has evolved since then?
I mean, every hour I write, I talk about what's going on currently in my life, what I'm dealing with now. So that last hour was me being a fish out of water, a California girl moving to the South, and all the things I had to learn, you know, like every time I go to a restaurant and order iced tea, it automatically comes with 3 pounds of sugar in it. You know, they call it sweet tea. We call it diabetes. It's like I'm learning new things. And now in this hour, I'm talking about being a brand new mom in my 40s, which is wild because like all my friends from high school, they had their kids in high school, you know. They were hoes. But they were my hoes. That's okay. But so now I'm an old mom in my 40s, which, you know, there's pros and cons. Like I lived my life. I traveled. I did what I wanted to do. I had a good time. Hey, bah, 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 bah. And then now, when I go pick up my daughter from high school, all her friends are going to be like, Rosie, your grandma's here. And we're just going to have to deal with it.
Are you tired?
Am I?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Mhm.
How am I even alive? I don't understand.
Yeah.
Like I am always tired. Always.
In a weird way, though, while kids will age you quickly, they also keep you young, though. I feel like
100.
yes, they're going to keep you young. You're not going to turn into a boring old empty nester because you won't be an empty nester.
I know I will never be an empty nester.
Ever.
I'll be an empty nester when they put me in a home when I'm done. And even then, now I got neighbors. Now I got roommates.
Are you going to have any more? Or do you want
I
to?
don't think so. I don't know if my body can do it. I'm 43. I don't know if I have any eggs left. You know what I mean? Like, I don't even know.
You probably have
They say
plenty.
all the surprise babies are in your 40s, man.
Yeah.
Because you let your guard down.
So actually, you got to be careful now.
Yeah. You think you don't need
Oh, shoot.
Yeah. People, they get a little lax with the goalie. And the next thing you know.
Well, listen, if you hear about me being pregnant in the future, you guys said it first.
Could you?
I let my guard down.
Could you please, would you mind calling us if you do get pregnant, surprisingly?
I do. I will 100%.
Call your-
We'll reconvene this conversation.
Let your family know. Whoever in the immediate family or your extended family that needs to know, your friends, and then call us.
Give us a call. We're there for you, Angela.
You're on the list for sure.
Angela Johnson Reyes will be at the pageant November 15th. So you got a little bit of time, but go get tickets now. You've got 2 shows that night, November 15th at the pageant. And we recommend going to see Angela Johnson Reyes. She's awesome. She's very nice, and we love having her on the show again. So thank you for talking with us.
Oh.
Did we lose Angela?
There we go.
I think we lost Angela.
Oh, well,
Anyway.
you're welcome.
Yes. Oh, thank you so much. I don't know. I can't. She's such a nice lady.
I know. Award-winning Raiderette.
I didn't know you can win an award as a Raiderette.
Flowers,
She got flowers, and she got protected by the black hole.
which is good because they have a jail in the bottom of that stadium, or
Well,
they did.
They have jails, I think, in most stadiums.
But
They have
that
to have
one
a-
was used.
They have to have a holding area for the people who get out of control.
Yeah.
That's pretty much everywhere, I think. Amy Markscores, Chris Ranji. Don't forget, the Gas House Gang is coming up at 12 o'clock. We'll talk some Cardinals baseball. Tom Ackerman and me. Polo Asensio joins the show. There's a lot happening on KMOX.
Dive into adventure this summer at the St. Louis Aquarium's Summer of the Shark. Get face to fin with some of the ocean's most awe-inspiring creatures in shark-themed exhibits, jaw-dropping displays, and interactive experiences for the whole family. Whether you're a Fin-tastic fan or just curious, there's hands-on fun and fascinating facts around every corner at the St. Louis Aquarium. Don't miss your chance to make a splash. Plan your visit today at stlouisunionstation.com. That's stlouisunionstation.com.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Calling all future sportscasters. Sharpen your skills and learn from the best of the Missouri Broadcasters Association Sportscasters Forum Tuesday, September 16th in St. Louis. Join Cardinals beat reporters, broadcasters, and the legendary John Rooney, the voice of the Cardinals, for insider sessions on play-by-play, interviewing, reporting, and more. Then cap the day with a Cards-Reds game at Busch Stadium. Open to college students and broadcasting pros. Just $10 for students, lunch, and a game ticket. Space is limited. Register by September 2nd at MissouriBroadcasters.org.
If something happens to you, what happens to your family? Will they struggle financially? Will they be able to afford the home you built together? With Ethos, you can get life insurance coverage in minutes. Get up to $2 million in coverage for as little as $2 a day. All online with no medical exam. Just answer a few health questions. Get your free quote at ethos.com/life. That's ETHOS.com/life. Rates may vary. Billed monthly. Sample rate 10-year term life policy for a 35-year-old healthy non-smoking male.
When you haven't found love, it can feel like everyone else has. It's in every movie, every song, and all the PDA. Looking for love sucks. Thankfully, California Psychics can give you the guidance you need to find the one. We guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. And new customers receive 20 minutes for just $20. Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com and experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit information kit. 800-311-9595. That's 800-311-9595.
We know you're uncertain about psychics. Is this fortune teller you found on a forum legit?
Your one true love is...
me! That's why California Psychics reject 98% of the psychics who apply to work with us. We guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. New customers receive 20 minutes for just $20. So experience the joy of certainty at CaliforniaPsychics.com. Get insights on the go. Download the California Psychics app today.
Retiring soon? Get the information you need by joining Kyle Jones and Matt Allgeier of Vira Capital Management for your retirement highway, Sunday mornings at 9:30. Investment advisory services made available through Pine Ridge Advisors, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Securities made available through AE Financial Services, LLC, member FINRA and SIPC.
It's the Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM KMOX, sponsored by the St. Louis Aquarium. Explore the St. Louis Aquarium at Union Station.
So back in March, Amy, it was announced that Mike Dominguez, Dr. Mike Dominguez, was going to take over at Francis Howell School District as the superintendent, and it was supposed to start in July, and apparently never really began the job, and has resigned and is going to Oklahoma to take a job there. Amy and I both are trying to figure out, like, there's got to be something we don't know, because the Francis Howell School District has agreed to not divulge why he is no longer going to be here, why he resigned, why he's going to Oklahoma. And we'd also kind of like to know why he's still getting $230,000 for 11 months worth of pay. So what happened here?
The timeline is that the Francis Howell Board of Education voted to pay Dominguez, its newly hired superintendent, nearly a year's salary to leave. They didn't say why. So 3 days after they voted that, he got a new job in Oklahoma. So the Shawnee Public Schools in Oklahoma announced that they had hired him to be assistant superintendent. But why is he leaving? Was he asked to leave? Is he resigning? Why did the Francis Howell Board of Education agree to pay him just under $230,000, which, as you noted, is 11 months of his $250,000 annual salary? He never spent a day on the job. He was hired in March. And again, 4 days before he was supposed to start his job officially, district officials said he could not start his job due to, quote, unforeseen circumstances. It would be one thing if unforeseen circumstances, he couldn't start the job. He's not starting the job and he's going to Oklahoma. Maybe you assume, you know what, maybe he decided, maybe he changed his mind, and it kind of looks bad that he changed his mind and wants to go to Oklahoma. That would be one thing, but that's not what we're talking about here. Somehow he resigned for some reason, and the school's paying him almost $250,000 for 0 days of work. And he then announced that he got a new job in Oklahoma.
Yeah. So, I mean, he says that this is a family issue, that he wants to be closer to home, and and aging in-laws. So if it is something like that where a parent has gotten a parent-in-law has gotten severely ill and he's got to be there, they've got to be there, the family does. Okay, that's one thing. I just feel like if you're going to end up, the way these stories have been framed, though, the way they're written is he is being paid to leave.
Yes.
Like we're paying to get him out of here. So maybe it's just, maybe the reporting is confusing. I don't know what it is, but this doesn't sound right. And you think that you would want to be clear with people. Look, this is happening with him. He has to go. This is what happened. This is what he did or what's going on with his family. And you don't have to give specific details if somebody's sick. Like, that's not necessary, but to let people clearly understand why he's still being paid, even though he's not really going to perform the job, I would think taxpayers would like to know that, would they not?
Yeah. And again, the St. Louis Post-Dispatch in their story interviewed a former superintendent, Mary Hendricks Harris, who led Francis Howell from 2016 to July of 2020. She said settlements historically have been rare for the district. I'm not sure we had one in my 4 years as superintendent because we know it's frowned upon in the community, Hendricks Harris said. I think politically, all the board members understand they're going to take a hit in the community by making that decision being to settle. That's according to the former superintendent who left the position in 2020. But it's a settlement for what, though?
And it was a unanimous vote, too.
Yes.
Right. There's a lot missing.
There's a
here.
lot missing. And we do know, so President Jamie Martin is the president of the Francis Howell Forward PAC and has a postdoctoral research in education. And Martin said that if you're looking in public education to be a superintendent or an assistant superintendent, that takes time. So for Dominguez to get this job just a few days later after the settlement means he was probably looking for that job or had already interviewed for that job, right? You don't get that kind of turnaround on a job like that. So the timeline doesn't really make sense. And is the term, the fact that they're calling it a settlement, what does that imply?
Right. So
what does that mean?
Somebody did this. This all reads like somebody did something wrong. Somebody did something they're not supposed to, whether it's him, the school district. I have no idea. It's just it appears a little shadier than it needs to be. So I hope that something comes of it and that we learn a little bit more about the situation. Because if he's being paid, which is a considerable amount of money for a year's worth of non-work, something was screwed up. I mean, is there another reasonable explanation? Because it would be one thing if, say, he's getting ready to start this thing. He's getting ready to start this job. He agreed to do it. He signed. He's ready to go. Mm-hmm. And then something dramatic and catastrophic happens in his family and he can't take the job. What would typically happen in any line of work is the place you're about to go work would say, okay, we'll let you out of the contract. Yeah. Maybe, but we're not paying you for it.
That's why whatever's not being disclosed here, I feel like has to be on the school's end, because if he did something wrong, you're not paying him. And so maybe someone on the school or the school board, or maybe it was political and they didn't want him and they decided, all right, if we can get this guy to leave, we can get someone else. And so he was able to look for a different job and the school board settled it. Like I said, I don't know, but if something important is not being disclosed, my guess is it has to be on the school's side. Because why would you pay him $250,000?
Doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. And hopefully we get to the bottom of it. When we come back, it is the midweek, midday, midlife. And we are helping you people in your 40s, your 30s and your 40s, and you're dealing with stuff. How about a healthy diet? Is it difficult to have one right now because you got the kids, got a job that you're dealing with? Is it tough to eat right and to be healthy? We're going to talk to Dr. Julie Gatza, nutrition expert, next on KMOX.
This isn't your typical lunchtime baseball chatter. This is the Gas House Gang.
I'll say this. Here's my perspective.
Tom Ackerman, Chris Ronti, Mike Claiborne, and Bernie Miklasz bring smart, informed Cards talk. And every Tuesday,
We welcome in the manager of the Cardinals, Oliver Marmol.
you want real Cardinals conversation? You're in the right place. The Gas House Gang, weekdays at noon on 104.1 FM KMOX, the voice of baseball.
Hey guys, Kevin Wheeler here. I want to tell you about 213 Complex, which is available at Supplement Superstores. It is the most effective and powerful all-natural weight loss supplement ever developed. Here's what it does for me and what it will do for you. Optimizes thyroid function, which gets your metabolism rocking and rolling, helps you with appetite and craving control. All-day focused energy comes with that, plus the reduced cortisol levels helps you get a better night's sleep. So get out to Supplement Superstores, tell them Kevin Wheeler sent you in. They'll knock 30% off the 213 Complex. Find your location at supplementsuperstores.com.
It's hot again, 86 degrees, real field temperature 101, mostly sunny today, a high of 92. Tonight, clear with a low of 70. Weather sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning and Electrical.
Jerry Kelly can install a new AC tomorrow. Yes, tomorrow, even if we call it 8 tonight.
Wow, that's fast.
They're fast and they're good.
Mathematically, that actually equals got it going on.
Tomorrow. JerryKelly.com.
This segment, Cancer Center Spotlight, how innovative immunotherapy is showing promise against aggressive T-cell cancers. Dr. John DePercio.
Patients have come here from all over the United States and, in fact, all over the world to get evaluated and treated for this treatment. We hope that this can be continued, that we demonstrate in a clinical trial that it's safe and effective, and that ultimately it will be approved by the FDA so it's available to everyone in the world.
For more information, visit siteman.wustl.edu.
Don't get lulled into believing the IRS is getting soft. It's just the opposite. Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. We are being told by IRS collection officers that their higher-ups are demanding that they get more aggressive than ever. So don't ignore them any longer. Level up. If you have unfiled returns, unpaid taxes, levies, or liens, call the Lance Story Law Firm today and let us get between you and the IRS. We'll protect your rights, including your right to appeal or even your right to take the IRS to tax court. Remember, IRS problems are legal problems, and they need to be handled by an expert attorney team who's done it for decades. So call the Lance Story Law Firm today. We're local. Our office is right here in St. Louis, or visit Lance, DRURY, law.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm, the Lance Story Law Firm, 314-260-6120.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Paul's new drone startup just lost its most genius computer scientist.
We just lost our best genius to some new genius who's got a genius new idea. I'm going to have to find a new genius, or two half geniuses, and fast.
He needs a computer scientist that can keep his startup from falling down.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. We recently received a call from an injured person. The insurance company had offered them $11,000. We took the case over and got more than $2 million in court. Morgan & Morgan.
Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
For all station contest rules, go to KMOX.com/rules.
Guys, Glover here. August is Pet Appreciation Month. Get 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at just $129, 15% off pet odor treatments, and take $50 off your air duct cleaning. Book online at ZeroResSTL.com or call 314-474-2020.
Cards manager Ollie Marmol joins the Gas House Gang every Tuesday at noon. Sponsored by Siteman Cancer Center on the voice of the Cardinals, 104.1 FM KMOX.
After we did our, was it midday midlife where we were helping people into, we're not going to say middle-aged
No,
because you're not middle-aged.
middle-aged. No.
But you're in the middle part of your life. It's
Yeah.
different. Trust us, it's different.
Well, like we were just talking to Angela Johnson Reyes, she's 43 and has a baby.
2-year-old.
Yeah, has a 2-year-old. And so some of her friends have kids in high school and college.
Yeah.
And she's got a 2-year-old. It's just a weird age. It's a hard age being, not a hard age. It's fun, but there's a lot going on.
So there are a lot of things that people in this age group that Amy and I are in are dealing with. One thing that is difficult for a lot of folks is just keeping a healthy diet, especially if you have a demanding job, if you have kids. There are all kinds of responsibilities that you might have that prevent you from taking the time or effort to be healthier in your diet. And to talk about that with us and what you can do, Dr. Julie Gatza is a nutrition expert, health educator, and chiropractic physician. And Dr. Gatza is with us on KMOX. We appreciate your time today. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me here.
So let's just start with how difficult it actually is, because, you know, you might have some people listening saying, oh, those are all excuses. There's no excuse for not maintaining a healthy diet, and having kids or having a job should not prevent you from doing that. But just how difficult is it actually for people to?
I mean, I think it's very difficult because of all the dispersal on fast food restaurants and what everyone thinks is normal to eat, and, you know, how easy things are to just go out and buy food rather than prepare food. So it's just a mindset that, you know, we had as kids where our grandparents and parents were cooking in the kitchen. So this was just normal for us. But a lot of these kids and millennials and whomever don't have that thing that they were growing up with. So it's all normal to eat weird.
You know what? I do like that you point out like what's normal, what's considered normal to eat, because I talked about my good friend who lives in Switzerland, right? And went to visit him. And one thing you notice is there aren't fast food restaurants at every corner, and there isn't junk food on every shelf after shelf. So one, not only is it not that available, so it's not constantly in front of you, but it also takes less effort to eat healthy because you're not constantly saying no to the unhealthy things. You know, he said he had his kids here for 4 or 5 years, and everything was like, can I have the soda? Can I have this candy? Can we go to McDonald's? But if it's not in front of you, you don't have to say no as much. So it is difficult where most people live to constantly have to say no.
For sure. And, you know, we raised our daughter with, you know, a fair amount of no's, but on the other hand, as soon as she could, we made her do push-ups every time she asked something twice.
Oh, that's good. I like that.
You know, we're in the locally grocery store, and, you know, she's asking for something twice, and I'm like, yep, nope, 20 push-ups. And, you know, man push-ups at 7 years old, and people were walking by just giving us a thumbs up.
Lord.
Instead of, yep.
Were you guys in the Marines?
No, it's just we realized yelling at them, putting them in the room, timeouts was just nothing. So what we wanted was something that put her into action. And if she was still complaining when she got done, then it wasn't enough push-ups. So she learned to not say, and, you know, so we raised her with, you know, good food, packed her lunchbox every day. Certainly we're not crazy that she couldn't have stuff, but it wasn't the norm. And, you know, we told her bad kids went to McDonald's, and that was like
wow. Good Lord. That's what you're telling those kids?
It's like saying when
we told her. So she's 29 years old, and she said she's never had a McDonald's hamburger. She has had the fries, but other than that, she's never eaten McDonald's.
That's really funny. That's like saying when the ice cream man plays music, it means he's out of ice cream.
I had an ex-girlfriend years ago who told who was told by her dad, every time they didn't feel well, they had a headache or whatever, he said, drink some water and do 10 push-ups. So, and I thought that was, so here you come along.
Okay. Dr. Julie, I want to ask you about this phrase because I saw it within some of your work. Sugar stress. What is sugar stress? Where does it come from? How do you know if you have it? And what are the risks?
Well, let's take a little kid that's eating perfectly. Protein, vegetables, everything clean, nothing from a package, a box, or a can. Okay, fine. That's exactly what a body wants. It's how it's the most efficient. It's how it has the energy. The cells are working optimally. The digestive system is not stressed. And now let's add in their first piece of cake. When they have that, it starts to change to a sugar or carbohydrate-driven metabolism if you start to feed that thing. So that's why during the holidays, it's so hard to get back on track because we've eaten so much of the delicious carbohydrate, sugar, stressor foods. And it takes just pure discipline to change that back to, getting energy from real food.
So can you there is a difference, I guess, depending on who you talk to, a difference in sugar. There's the cake sugar and then there's fruit. Why is it, or if maybe you disagree, maybe you think all sugar is bad. What about fruit? No. Okay, so what about fruit sugar and why is that better for you or okay? Because you might see, well, this watermelon has like 25 grams of sugar in it, which is a lot, right? So why is it different?
Well, if you're trying to lose weight, it really does come down to diet and at least moving the body some. The fructose sugar from fruit is much more easily assimilated and understood by the body. It also has a lot of other nutrition in with it, so it's not just pure cane sugar going in. Even honey's easier on the system. But, once again, I'd rather have somebody eating pure cane sugar than having artificial sweeteners. So, it's one of those, which one? Yeah. But the fact is, if you're eating a meal that first you eat your protein and recognize that that's the most complicated of the foods. It's the one that the cells need the most. And you have digestive enzymes that we should be making to break down those protein particles and then get the nutrition into the bloodstream so it can make the rest of you healthy. That is the whole purpose of eating. Taste is, the reason that we do like it, but the purpose is to get these nutrients. Next should come the vegetables, and we have enzymes to break down vegetables. Then after that, maybe you'll have some carbs, but it's not really needed. And in this country, I would say run from them. They're all, poisoned and changed and have Roundup and all sorts of weird things in it. So try to avoid them and then have some, fruit for dessert. But, it's the parents that are giving the kids an apple an hour before dinner and then wondering why they don't want to eat the protein. They should come to the meal hungry.
I will say, I'm not proud of it. I was definitely addicted to sugar like 2009, 10, 2011, like those years or whatever. So I guess when I was in my late 20s into my early 30s, because I was very active, I didn't eat fast food, but I ate a lot of sugar. I loved cookie cake and I could eat an Oreo cookie and then, go run and live my active lifestyle or whatever. But I got really addicted to sugar. And I know I was addicted, one, because my blood sugar was like a balloon filled with air, not helium. So I had to keep it up by eating sugar. And I would wake up in the middle of the night craving sugar to the point that I'd eat, a little bit of brown sugar, literally straight from the bag in the middle of the night because I felt like I needed sugar. And I finally broke myself of that by I don't like diets, but I needed to break myself from the sugar. So I did like the hard 30 or whatever it's called, where I didn't eat any sugar for 30 days. For the first 21 days, I wanted to die. I felt like I was coming off of a drug. It was awful. I was crabby. I was tired. I felt sick. But once I barreled through, I'm in control now. I feel like for the first time I was in control of my diet. I still eat sweets, but I'm not addicted to them.
Right.
But it was hard.
Well done. It is hard. And, physically, or I should say chemically in the body, you're supposed to have something called Krebs cycle, which makes ATP, which is energy. So that basically is like a Ferris wheel. With every one of the carts filled, it runs exactly how it's supposed to. And you make a certain amount of energy trillions of times a day at a cellular level. When you start reaching for sugars and carbohydrates, which turn into sugars, and so, the pizzas, the pastas, the cookies and the crackers and things like this, you do this long enough, which isn't very long, and the whole metabolism cycle shifts over into needing those carbs to make the energy, which is why you need more, which is why you have to have the coffee later and the little bit of chocolate later, and why you want to die after lunch and go crawl under your desk and take a little nap because you've spiked it and it's just not efficient any longer.
So eating well, eating whole foods it can be very expensive. It can be a little more difficult to do. And I think to say to people, well, just don't eat this thing. Just simply don't eat it. That's very difficult to actually execute. So if you are in your 30s, in your 40s, you have all these things going on in your life, or maybe you're on a budget, what do you say to somebody like that who would like to be better, but just it's not as easy as saying, well, just don't do it. Don't eat this.
Well, one, I think that it isn't more expensive to eat whole foods. Have you gone to a drive-through recently? That is not a cheap experience. And have you gotten a coffee at some very popular place lately? That's also not a cheap experience. And you do that once a day, you could have bought a package of chicken and had a couple of meals from it.
No,
So
that is a good. I would say a rotisserie chicken from our local grocery store, like Deerberg's or Schnucks, is cheaper than the Starbucks latte I got this morning. Not this morning,
right.
yesterday.
And you buy the raw chicken, and now you've got not only the chicken to cook, but leftovers, you can make chicken salad and stretch it out. Then you can take the bones and make soup. You stretch it out again. So it's just a matter of having a couple of tricks up your sleeve. And what I tell people is learn two and put them in twice a week. Get your kids involved. Get your kids involved in which two you should learn. Get them in the kitchen and start cooking. Meal prep. It takes a couple hours on a Sunday. Okay, I got it. But now you have 8 meals for the rest of the week when somebody's in a hurry, can't cook, and you grab the Tupperware, pull it out of there, and bam, there's your meal.
Well, Dr. Julie Gatza, this is really good information, and I hope that people found it useful. Website is naturessources.com, and you can learn more, and I think it's a nice resource for people. naturessources.com is the website. Dr. Julie Gatza, we do appreciate your time today. Thanks for talking with us.
Thank you very much.
Dr. Gatza is a nutrition expert, health educator, and chiropractic physician, and talking with us today on KMOX.
And I know we'll continue like this type of conversation too, because we didn't get to the gut-brain connection, but that is very real. And Ron, when we spoke with that reporter from the Washington Post about ultra-processed foods and how it's not only the gut issues you can have, that our bodies weren't meant to digest foods that have been bleached and broken down and bleached and broken down. But, if you're trying to focus, or if you have young kids who are struggling to focus in school, I don't think the first reaction should be, well, we got to give them Adderall or we got to give them medication. We should look at their diets, because I can tell you what, if I lived on soda, Gatorade, and Doritos, I would not be able to sit still and focus either. There's definitely a gut-brain connection.
Maybe this is a silly question, but this is sort of a big picture, long-term, hundreds of years from now kind of thing. But I wonder how, if it continues like this, that humans eat the way they do, and, in particular Americans, I guess.
Yeah.
How long does it take for our bodies to evolve and adapt to that, where we are now used to eating crap instead of stuff picked off a tree?
So do you think there could be a little bit of both? That partly we've already adapted. Like if you brought somebody who has not eaten processed foods and then they started eating Doritos, there's a chance they would get sick. But is it
It's the other way around?
Well, but is it possible that we've adapted, but also we're still going to get cancer? You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
we don't
maybe.
get sick immediately,
Yeah.
but all of these foods, like maybe they are leading to the spike in colon cancer we're seeing in young Americans.
Have you participated in our question of the week? Speaking of being healthy, you need to wash your sheets, you sicko. And at our Twitter account,
And
at Chris
has
Amy
anybody,
K.
has anybody seen Rob? I'm worried him.
about Rob. Rob, let us know if the conversation with your wife about letting the dog in the bed did not go well.
I'm worried.
Maybe she handled him.
I know.
Maybe she took away his phone. So if you're out there, Rob, let us know how it went. And vote in our Twitter poll. It's pinned at the top, at Chris Amy KMOX.
Paul's new drone startup just lost its most genius computer scientist.
We just lost our best genius to some new genius who's got a genius new idea. I'm going to have to find a new genius, or 2 half geniuses and fast.
He needs a computer scientist that can keep his startup from falling down.
I need Indeed.
Indeed, you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
It doesn't take a lot to make a big difference.
That's why we've teamed up with Jerry Kelly Heating and Cooling to bring you 100 acts of kindness.
For the next 6 months, the Chris and Amy Show is challenging you to spread kindness in simple, meaningful ways. No big budget needed.
Write a thank you note, help a neighbor, surprise someone with a smile. It all counts.
Let's prove that kindness is contagious. Share your acts with us by using hashtag 100KindActs.
Because a little kindness goes a long way.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. We're dedicated to serving people 50 and up like me. Our needs are different. Big Wireless wants us in an unlimited plan, but if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used. At Consumer Cellular, we're focused on affordable, reliable plans, including data that suits your needs, not ours. Our plans start at just $20, and you'll get the best customer service in the business.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/fax or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Summer is here, and it's time to plan your style staycation with Bob's Discount Furniture, where you can find everyday low prices on the hottest styles. The comfiest Consumer Reports recommended mattresses, fast, friendly delivery, and flexible financing to fit your budget. Go to mybobs.com for details. So stock up and score everyday low prices, delivered on time all summer long at your nearest store or at mybobs.com.
Oh, my Bob!
Bob's Discount Furniture.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-220-6409 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-220-6409. That's 800-220-6409. What do you have to lose? Call 800-220-6409. Again, 800-220-6409.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. We're dedicated to serving people 50 and up like me. Our needs are different. Big Wireless wants us in an unlimited plan, but if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used. At Consumer Cellular, we're focused on affordable, reliable plans, including data that suits your needs, not ours. Our plans start at just $20, and you'll get the best customer service in the business.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/fax or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
The success you've already had matters at University of Maryland Global Campus because we're a school for real life. An accredited state university, UMGC lets you earn up to 90 credits toward a bachelor's for prior learning and relevant life and work experience, or transfer up to 12 credits toward a master's. We offer affordable tuition and online and hybrid courses. Classes start August 13th. Apply now and save with no application fee. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
The Chris and Amy Show is video streaming now on KMOX's YouTube, X, and Facebook pages. Click and subscribe.
Guys, we were talking during the commercial break. We're pretty worried about Rob.
Oh, Rob has got to be dead.
Ranj told Rob to put his foot down with his wife and just tell his wife who's boss. And you're not going to let the dog sleep in the bed anymore. And Rob has not texted.
He's not let us know what's going on.
And
I'll tell you
yesterday.
this. I'll tell you this. I am. We did talk about how letting your dog in your bed is just absolutely a no-no, and it is disgusting, and you shouldn't do it, because allowing your dog in the bed is the equivalent of allowing a human in the bed completely naked with their shoes on.
Yes.
Because nobody cleans very few people clean their dog's feet, and if they say they do, they're lying. And
except for Francis, my mom cleans Francis's feet because he's precious.
And the dog's butt winds up by the pillow.
Well, and Rob specifically.
Rob, he specifically said, as soon as I get out of my spot in bed, my wife invites the dog up,
100
who
pounds.
sits in my bed, sits in my spot, and where do you think his butt goes? Right on my pillow. So we told him
well,
that
it was you.
We said we're behind you, Rob. You want to tell her it's time to no more.
Yeah, and I told Rob, you as a married man, Rob, you should be super careful taking advice from Ranj, who is single and does not excel in long-term relationships.
No, I don't allow dog poo in my pillow. And if that's the give and take, if I have two options, it's either I have a significant other or a significant other and dog poo on my pillow, or neither of those. I'm taking neither.
Listen, our question of the week is, how often do you wash your sheets? That's on Twitter. But I think our question of the week really should have been, will we ever hear from Rob again?
Yeah,
we have tomorrow and Friday.
We are worried. If you know Rob, let us know how he's doing. If it went well,
I don't think
this.
Maybe it went so well that they're on a romantic vacation right now.
They're doing a vow renewal right now because it went so well. So here's what you should do. If you needed some motivation to tell your wife or your husband that the dog is no longer allowed in the bed, just pretend like this is it. We're giving you permission to tell your spouse to cut it out.
And Rob, we need to hear from you tomorrow because
we're getting worried.
We're worried.
I'm worried sick, actually. He promised he'd get back to us today, and he didn't. Anything you missed on the Chris and Amy show on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts, go back and listen to us. We hope you do. Your smart speaker. Tell your smart speaker to play KMOX, to play the Chris and Amy show, and it will. It's awesome. Coming up next, though, it is the Gas House Gang, Tom Ackerman and me. We'll talk some Cardinals baseball and more. Polo Asensio joins the show on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Can you imagine taking your kids to the zoo and go, Mom, Dad, is that jelly bean?
Chris Ranji for Siteman Cancer Center, and you have to know that you are somebody